Hello, everybody out there in THL land. Welcome to Salty Saturday. We are back with two new matches for you in this week 4 set of our series here. I am Donde, and I'm joined tonight by Craig of Canada. Craig, how's it going?
Good to be here for another awesome Saturday night.
Yeah, it's always exciting. A lot of good matches in the last few weeks. Hopefully, these ones live up to the previous hype, and I think that they will. We've got one from our Conquest series. That's the first match that we're going to be seeing tonight. So we'll talk about that one in just a little bit. But later on, we've got a big one in Hero. That's Last Hero Standing, of course. That's Ron Mexico of the Burnators versus Icicles of Dad Legend. That is a fun looking matchup on paper that I cannot wait to see. But It's Me Mike V versus F Srirachi 1 will be our first match of the evening. And sorry for fans of Hunter out there, but they both banned it, so you will not be seeing any Hunter in this first match, for better or worse. Craig, what do you think about these lineups here? We've got It's Me Mike V with Mage, Rogue, and Warlock playing against F Srirachi's Druid, Rogue, and Warlock.
It's going to be interesting. Like, I have a little bit of investment in It's Me, Mikey V, because we play on the same legacy team or pro team. So I'm excited to see him play tonight. This isn't in the pro series, I believe, but
Correct.
I still got to cheer on a teammate, So I'll be rooting for him regardless of matchups. But what's your thoughts on these matchups?
Druid was the hot pick this week. A lot of people brought it versus the last few weeks, and Embiggen Druid has been that kind of Cinderella story, I guess you would say, on ladder a little bit. So I think that talking to Mike, he kind of had an inclination that might be something he sees. And just kind of getting an idea of where his head was at, he thinks that might be something to really pay attention to for this match. He did not obviously ban Druid, so we will potentially get to see what Druid F Srirachi's bringing. As a teammate of his, I know it's Conquest in Pro, but it's a different series. Any ideas on what he might be looking to bring this evening?
I'm a little worried because I feel like Druid is such a powerhouse right now that it seems a little scary not to be bringing it and not to be banning it. So I'm a little worried. He has Rogue in his lineup.
They both do, yes.
Yeah, and I know for sure Rogue is not not a good matchup for you against a Embiggen Druid particularly. So I'm hoping Mikey V can do it, but I'm a little worried here, my friend.
I will say that Mage has been kind of a little bit sneaky good in some lineups, a little better than advertised, at least on ladder. We don't have to worry about that kind of dynamic here in a best of 5 series. But yeah, I think I gotta like F Srirachi's lineup a little bit better. This is certainly going to be an interesting way to we're gonna have to see them navigate around some of those bad matchups with Q order here. So we are. We got the bands ready to go here. I'm going to give them the go-ahead, and we're going to jump into our first match of the evening.
Beautiful. Now with new cards, it should make for some awesome matchups because we don't know for sure exactly how everything's going to play out the way we did the last few weeks.
Yep, every week brings a slightly different meta. Not a ton, just a couple cards here and there that might make their way to decks, but enough to keep things interesting and make sure people are on their toes. And of course, as we saw last week, some of the cards that are unreleased have made their way into like the discover effects and the random effects. So you might not even be playing around a card that you could feasibly expect to play around because it's not a possibility to be put into a deck.
I just want to say I think that's a little laziness on Team Five's part, but
I don't love that. I definitely don't love that, but that's where we're at right now, and I think players are at least aware that that's a possibility. So hopefully that they do know about that. But so when we go in, and so the viewers know, we're gonna have It's Me Mike V on the bottom, and F Srirachi will be on the top, and I'm gonna give them the go ahead right now.
Awesome. Let's see some action tonight, folks.
All right, looks like they're prepping to head in. Still waiting here for it to pop up. Last second thoughts on what you think we might see to lead off the match here.
Just got a nice message from it's Mike V saying time to do some cleaning. So we got some confidence here from my teammate, and I think if I had to guess, I'm gonna say he probably starts off with it's last hero standing.
No, this is Conquest in our first match here.
Conquest. Okay, then I think he's gonna come in. If I had to guess him, he's gonna come in with some Galakron Rogue.
All right, all right.
Maybe both players start with Rogue. Or I could see even Embiggen Druid is a good start too because it is counterable. So I could see him. I could see Farachi going with that.
With Conquest, I do like the Rogue just because it is, it doesn't have any really, really terrible matchups. So it is kind of the safe play. So we might see that Rogue mirror.
Yeah, I would argue that Rogue is bad against Embiggen Druid, but it can win. It's just those backstabs and those saps don't pull the weight and eviscerate. They don't pull the weight the way they do in other matchups.
Looks like a slight delay here. Just waiting for them to actually initiate the battle. Might be
for all the viewers at home, like, oh, sorry.
Oh, my apologies. And we are hopping in now.
Gul'dan versus Valeera.
Watch your back.
All right, looks like we're going to see Warlock on Mike's side. And it definitely appears to be either a Hand or Galakron version. Galakron it is. And Rogue will be queued up for Fsirachi.
And I'm guessing we're seeing it's no hands Warlock with the sacrificial packs, if I had to guess, because that's the deck that we've been using on our team quite a bit.
Yeah, that does seem to be the pick here, and not the greatest start for Mike's hand there. He does have the Devoted Maniac that he can get if he can get to turn 4 pretty cleanly, but Fsirachi also a little bit slow. But Coin, one of the Rogue's best friends, so he'll have some options here going into turn 2.
This matchup, I've always found that it can go either way. I'm not sure which way it leans, but I never feel like it's unlosable or unwinnable.
Yeah, it's definitely there's a lot of nuance to it because there's a lot of ways you can build each deck, and obviously techs matter a whole lot in THL. Knowing what your opponent's going to be bringing and knowing ultimately what you're going to be banning, you can definitely tech things to give yourself a slight advantage that you might not otherwise have just in a ladder scenario. But Mike is, or I should say, Fsirachi is just gonna, play that Pharaoh Cat and have a little bit of, slight board edge here as we go into turn 4. But Mike is starting to assemble quite a few key cards. He's got Galakron already in hand, and Dark Skies for the inevitable explosion on board that Fsirachi will potentially have over the next few turns.
He's definitely gonna want to get some Invokers here, but I can't. He's not in a rush. That's what's nice about playing against Rogues is it's rare, unless they have the nut draw, they're not going to be rushing you down.
Yeah, in general, they don't do that, at least not in the current incarnations of Rogue. This does appear to, at least for now, it looks like Highlander.
That's interesting. If it is Highlander, I don't like the choice personally. I don't think that Highlander Rogue has been good for a while. But you know what? It might work out here. A little bit more greed in the deck.
And that was a pretty interesting evolve. Allowed Fsirachi to get an extra minion off the board and get a full board clear. He opts to keep or use the Witchy Lackey a second time and ends up with a Mad Summoner, which is really kind of a low roll for a 6-drop at a 4/4 stat line. But right now, it's going to kind of require at least an answer from Mike over the next turn or two here.
Yeah, I'm wondering what we'll see from him. He doesn't have anything that's too clean here. I guess he can Nether Breath tap, but like nothing looks too great here.
Yeah, ultimately those Nether Breaths, you don't really want to use them on minions if you can avoid it, but it looks like that's pretty much the most preferable choice here, as he will do that and likely just tap and move on, I would imagine.
I'm always telling him never tap first. It's strategically wrong.
A lot of people would disagree with you on that one.
A little sarcasm. I gotta give him a hard time for when he watches the VOD, you know?
Of course. Faceless Corruptor is a nice, clean play, even though he's not going to be rushing into anything. That's 2/4/4s back on board, so it's definitely going to be a strong presence. And yet again, Mike is going to have to find a way to answer it. And this is good play at Efsirachi, knowing he's got to stay out of range of that Crazed Netherwing that's potentially in hand.
Yeah, we're probably gonna see Dark Skies this turn, and maybe another tap. I guess you can't really tap this turn with that.
Yeah, if you tap, it's going to go right back to a full hand. So yeah, I would say no to that. The other option, I guess, would be Ziliax plus Mortal Coil takes one of those off the board and frees up a little. Not freeing up a lot of hand space because you're still grabbing another card from Mortal Coil. But that is an option if you'd like to keep your Dark Skies for a later turn. But he's going to go ahead and use it now.
It's not the best play. Like I think it was the best play he had, but it really did slow him down and not give him much chance to develop here.
Yeah, it's kind of why I thought the Ziliax might be preferable in that spot. I don't know too many other spots you're going to probably have for the Ziliax, over the next few turns here. And he's really going to want to try to get some cards out of hand because he's got that Veiled Worshipper, and if he can get another Invoke, he wants to be able to use the Veiled Worshipper to churn through some of the cards in his deck. But right now, it's just too clogged.
A very awkward hand for him right now, and he has all his Reno cards. His Galakron is here, but none of the players that you like to hit early made it to the party.
And Efsirachi, on the other hand, is pretty much a one card a turn guy at this point. He's just playing, for tempo, getting the Vest card out available, and this happens to be the Kartut Defender, which was picked up off of the Pharaoh Cat back in turn 2. Not a lot of healing in Rogue, but hey, you'll take what you can get.
I'm not sure how much I like this play. I guess it works. Get to Mortal Coil and see what happens, but
yeah, it's kind of the same
really
principle as the option of Ziliax last turn, which gets the second card out of hand. But you pulled the Fiendish Rites, which is going to help him at least move along towards his endgame strategy here.
His hand is definitely getting to be quite powerful now. Like he might even play that Galakron early just to get the Kronks online, and there's a lot of options he has here.
Yeah, that is a possibility. I know it feels kind of bad to not get all 4 demons if you can, but it's certainly in play as an option with the status of his hand as it is right now. He's got the Alex in hand too, which means he doesn't really have to worry too much about getting face damage in immediately, since on turn 9 or later he can just go ahead and plop down at this point 14 points of damage. But a big Van Cleef is going to be coming down here. I guess not a big Van Cleef, but 6/6. It's moderate.
I'm wondering if it's just Fiendish Rites Plague here. It's he doesn't want to take too much damage anymore. Like he's going to be getting pretty low if he doesn't deal with this board.
Yeah, I think that's a fine choice. He's got 2 of them in hand, so even just using one right now isn't going to be a problem if Efsirachi can populate the board again pretty quickly. So
yeah, and he can draw another card afterwards as well.
Definitely. He'll be able to use the Veiled Worshipper now. He's invoked twice. And looking at Efsirachi's hand, I see that Betrayal up there. That came from the the Ethereal Lackey from last turn. So that's a card that Mike might not be ready to play around, since it's not a card that tends to be in the deck.
Yeah, and it can be very punishing in this against a Warlock that's not ready for it.
Yeah, this hasn't been a meta where necessarily the ordering in which you play your minions on board has been super relevant. So it might not be in the forefront of your mind as a fresh thought, and then all of a sudden you've placed your stuff in a very disadvantageous way. Especially if we see the way that he's going to play Dragon Queen when it's online, and if he happens to play that Dragon Queen in the middle, and it just crushes two dragons on either side, that could be a killer.
I really like this play of Ziliax being able to clear this 4/4. That was a really good play for him. A big swing turn here.
Yep, he's definitely established himself again. Got a bit of health back, and I think for right now he's feeling pretty safe. Backstab is a great answer to that Ziliax, though, so we'll see that to start with. And let's take a look at some lackeys.
I hope we get a Draconic Lackey. Oh, look at that.
How about 2 of them?
Why not?
Oh no, Those are ooh.
Very interesting.
I mean, Malagos, if you can
Wow.
get that thing to stick, yeah,
I think that's the best bet. You have to take the chance.
yeah. I mean, Deathwing is unfortunately really not ideal because you just go ahead and dump your entire hand, and if he's got a counter to it, and we see that with Plague of Flames, well, you just got rid of your hand for nothing, and you're pretty much done. So I think Malagos is the play, and you gotta hope that you get that thing down and stick it, and just go crazy face with the eviscerates to end the game.
Considering what he takes here, I feel like I would pick Evasive Worm here, but I understand Big Old Whelp.
Yeah, I think there was a case to be made for all of those. Definitely a very important turn here. He had a lot of choices to make, and you know he got back into the game here as far as the board is concerned. We haven't seen much progress face-wise on either player, but Alex is looming large in hand right now for Mike.
Yes, and now we get a fully evoked Galakron, which is great to see. You love to see it. You hate to play against it, and this could really make the game change. We're gonna have to see what FSOrachi can do.
Yeah, the possibility of a big Galakron board and then Alex the turn after that, it just could be over if FSOrachi can't answer it.
Yeah, or Kronks if need be. Like, there's a lot of options here for It's Mikey V.
He got deep into the game. He had that awkward hand early, but he had a lot of power, and he just wanted to get there. He just wanted to get to the late game, so he had the opportunity to maneuver with this deck, and it looks like he's getting there. I kind of like the way he's set up right now, and this 2-1, yeah, probably going to go face, since I would imagine we're going to see it just get traded into on the other side this next turn.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot for the Rogue to come back here. His hand's not bad. That Malagos is always something that could be a backup plan, but against Warlock, it's gonna be really hard to get that to stick. So he's gonna be counting on drawing the Galakron, I feel, at this point, or a Togwaggle.
He drops the Betrayal down right now, which does allow him to kind of reestablish, and he's going to be able to clear off the 2-1 on the 5-1 with minimal investment. If he daggers up, he does have a full board clear again with the Whelp being the only minion on board, but he has to have an idea that Galakron is coming next turn. You know, he's 20 cards into the deck right now, fully invoked. It just seems like it's the time, and he's got to be able to, you know, have some sort of idea of an answer, and I just don't see a hand makeup right now. A Ziliax, a Backstab, Flick will take one thing out, but unless there's more than one, you know, matching demon on board, I don't think it's going to be quite enough.
Could you imagine how awful it would be to be a baby Whelp and then you want to be a big Malagos one day and then you grow up to be a big old Whelp?
Well, I mean, he seems like he's living pretty healthy there. At least, you know, he's not unfed.
This isn't a terrible board. It's not exactly what he'd want, but he could get some 2-1s out of the deal here.
Yeah, I think the deliberation now is whether or not you use the Claw on the Whelp. I think you might have to, just to kind of protect the 7/5, the Illidan.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there.
But a lot of power out there right now. I don't really like what FSOrachi's got to go ahead and... I mean, you're going to see Ziliax this turn. We're probably going to see a Backstab on something, but I don't know if that's enough.
We have lethal set up as of now, and we'll see if Versace can stop that, but it's not looking... It looks like he's going to have to use a ton of resources to block this lethal.
Right, from what he's showing 26 damage on board right now, and we know that Alex has been sitting in hand ready to go. So there's, you know... There's a lot of work to be done. He's going to go ahead and get rid of the 7-1, immediate threat. I think we're going to have to start seeing some Eviscerates get invested here. Sap maybe on the Illidan?
A Sap on Illidan seems like the right play.
Take a look at the lackeys first.
Trying to think, well, I guess the Taunt Lackey is what he's really hoping for here. Maybe the Damage Lackey. More Draconic Lackeys. It's a party today with these Draconic Lackeys. Not the best pulls that he wants to see.
No, the Drake is probably your best option there, but it's not one you're really looking to play immediately.
A lot of people say the same thing about Drake the Rapper.
It's very true. You would know better than I, being from Canada, I suppose.
Yeah.
So he's going to go ahead and leave Illidan up, at least as for right now, and that I think is a little bit of a dangerous play as he can rebuild the board pretty easily.
And that's lethal. Oh no, he has Ziliax. Oh, he's playing a poacher in this deck. I like it. It's spicy. That's for the Embiggen Druids.
And there are dragons in hand, so it could get activated very easily from here, and he knows there's dragons in hand too. So just seeing, is there a way through right now? You know, he'll heal up, use Alex, that drops back down to 15. 13, he can get him down to 13.
I think he gets him down to 13 and that's it.
I'm sorry, he can get him down to 2 rather. He can hit him for 13 and get him down to 2.
Oh. Yeah, we both had the same the same mistake there.
Yeah, the
dude.
words just got twisted, but yes, we both saw the same line. I think that's what you have to do here.
Oh yeah, I don't see why you don't, because then next turn, if he doesn't heal, you got Kronks to finish the game off.
Right, or if Zephrys comes online as well, certainly another option. But yeah, either way, I think that has to be the choice here.
Running out of time. Oh wait, does this buff him up enough to win?
No, it buffs the minions in hand, so
no.
it's not. Yeah, not gonna buff anything up.
I was just joking.
Oh.
No, I wasn't actually joking. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Sometimes those lesser used cards can be tricky when you're trying to figure out on the fly what they do. I couldn't remember the name of Illidan right off the top of my head, and I know he's one of the most popular characters in the Warcraft universe, so he's never been a popular card. It's just not something that you see too often unless it comes out of a random effect.
Yeah, and this is game, folks. There's no coming back from this.
Yeah, Praise Galakrond is not going to nearly be enough at all here, so that's about it. Yeah, sap that Alex if you want to. I mean, as far as he can tell, he feels like he can get enough off the board to stay alive, but obviously we know the bad news hiding in Mike's hand.
Exactly, and this game is brought to you by the sun. The sun is a great resource that keeps us all living and gives us vitamin D.
Praise the sun.
Rogue doesn't know what's coming.
He's still gonna play it out. You gotta play it the whole way. Understandable. And from his perspective, it looks pretty good. You know, he cleared everything off that he could. And yep, that's might have felt like a mistake there with the Drake, but it's not going to make a difference.
It's not gonna matter. It's the game, folks.
And we see a Warlock win in game 1. So that gets Mike on the board with a 1-0 lead. And as a reminder, this is Conquest, so of course Mike is going to have to win with every deck he brought, which means that we could see Fsirachi queue that same Rogue again, but Mike will not be allowed to queue that Warlock. So at this point, we're either looking at a Rogue or a Mage queue from Mike. I would imagine the Mage has to be a Highlander Mage, right? I don't know what any... I mean, Cyclone Mage is kind of meta fringe, I guess.
There is I think right now, I think Cyclone Mage is actually better than Highlander at the time with that
Really?
Khadgar and Mana Giant. I think that the deck is pretty good, and I don't know if that's what Mike is bringing here, but if he is, I wouldn't be surprised, because the deck is a lot stronger than people are giving it credit for right now.
It can definitely go off just like it has in the past, so it's not an impossibility. We're going to find out what it is, because he's bringing the Mage, and it's going to be up against the Druid.
It definitely is Highlander.
It's definitely Highlander with the Zephrys and the Lunas. And this appears to be Embiggen Druid. And great first card there. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not transition the screen. We're talking about it. You're not seeing it. Now you're seeing it. Gotta keep that Breath of Dreams.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mike does pick up the Arcane Breath, which is not a bad card in general. Especially if it's a Token Druid matchup, would have been a great card to have off the top, but it's not really going to get much play, I would imagine, on the oversized and untargetable dragons in Fsirachi's deck and hand.
I'm nearly certain that the Embiggen Druid is going to win this game. When you draw that 2-mana spell, Breath of the Wild or whatever it is, you win the game.
Yeah, Breath of Dreams is very
it's
good.
very hard to lose.
Yeah, the only thing he would have liked better is to also have an Embiggen in that hand too, which he does not yet have. But Evasive Feywing will come down at 5/4 that can't be targeted, which is very, very tough for the mage when they want to target you with spells and they want to target you with their hero power in order to be able to control the flow of the board.
I'm guessing he's playing a poacher in this deck, but I'm not sure how much that's gonna help the matchup. This is gonna be a really tough matchup, and especially if the Embiggen Druid's expecting cards like Rolling Fireball and stuff like that, then it's not gonna be easy for Mike to pull out a win here.
Mike does have some stall tactics in his hand in that Fireball, Blast Wave, Blizzard. I mean, Blast Wave's probably not going to really take anything out, I would imagine. I don't...
It can clean up the second half of
Sure.
the Reborn guy, but it's not going to be huge for him in this matchup.
So he'll go ahead and take the Twilight Drake, which does give him a on-curve play for the next turn, and something to at least contest some of the slightly larger minions with. But here comes Big Ol' Whelp, and F-Sriracha just continues to roll through. Oh, nope, he's going to go with the Oasis Surger instead, maybe?
And to be fair, he does have Portal in his hand, so that could be the thing that lets him get that power swing that he needs. And he has virtually no minions in his hand. The only minion that he's seen so far is Zephyrus. So this could actually be okay for him as long as he can get that portal down before he draws some key cards.
Very real possibility that he would just be dead by that time, though, unfortunately. This does allow him to clear off the untargetable minion, which is nice. But now with the use of the coin, that means he's one further turn away from Luna's, which could be the deciding factor in this game.
I'm feeling like that can't be targeted card is these can't be targeted cards are gonna cause a huge problem for my friend Mike here.
Very much so. And F-Sriracha just going with the, put as much stuff on board as you can. But Malygos off the top for
Flame
Mike.
Strike is what. Sorry, Flame Strike's what he's hoping for. This is an awful draw for him.
Yeah, I don't. I guess the intellect could be the swing here if he gets the Pocket Galaxy down, draws 4 cards, and gets a bunch of big stuff for free. Not for free, but for very cheap, I should say. That could be what he would want. Malygos' missiles. I don't see Explosion being the pick.
I think he has to take intellect here and hope for a big swing turn because you're not winning this game without taking risks. This is a bad matchup for you. I don't like that. I don't like that play at all, Mikey.
And let's see here. F-Sriracha with a draw of another Breath of Dreams. Might want to consider using that this turn. That plus Big Ol' Whelp or that plus Ziliax, but I think obviously if you hold on to it now, you're probably not using it much of the rest of the game. But the only other real option would be to use the Winged Guardian instead.
I don't know. I think I like the Winged Guardian here because like all you need for the Breath of Dreams now is for a cycle anyway. Ramping's not going to do much for you in this situation other than let you play 2 cards on a turn earlier. But I like this play.
And he will opt to go ahead and get the extra stats on board, and it is sticky. It's not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Ooh, Frost Nova's not bad here, or at least maybe next turn. But Frost Nova's a good stall. It really is going to come down to how much work can that portal do, and will he even have a chance to play the portal?
Yeah, it doesn't look like even if he wants to play it next turn that he's going to have an opportunity, because if he doesn't freeze things multiple turns in a row, he's on the hook for 13 damage right now.
Yeah, Frost Nova. Like, he could Blizzard here and then try to clean it up with Arcane Explosion later, but I think Frost Nova's a pretty good, a decent play.
Conjurer's Calling Tiamat, not the worst cards, but you'd love to have seen Tiamat after Luna's. Though, again, I think it's not going to be enough to turn this game around.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a loss, and I can't think of what, like, Zephyrus might have been the only hope, and he had to use that early. So I think that I think we can pretty much count our chickens on this match.
Swipe with a little extra reach going into hand for Efsirachi if he needs to get beyond, you know, a taunt or anything like that. He's going to Breath of Dreams just to see what he pulls. Happens to be Snip Snap. So even though it's Embiggen Druid, we haven't seen Embiggen yet. It doesn't really seem to matter, as he's had strong control of the board from the get-go.
He definitely has a strong matchup against these control decks. There's just so much threats, and they're so hard to deal with.
Yeah, eventually they just get to a point where you run out of answers, and
even injured Tolvair is just so good against even against Rogue. It's almost like it has elusive against Sealed Fate and Backstab. Like, you can't even target that. Like, this Embiggen Druid is very powerful.
Mountain Giant into hand is
this
relief.
Could be something. Mountain Giant into Conjurer's Calling, hope for a couple 7/8s to stay alive and develop a bit. Like, that could be something, but still might not be powerful enough here.
Yeah, that's if you do that play, you're basically hoping that you roll correctly, because if he rolls wrong, he loses on the spot.
If he rolls Royce, nice car.
Might opt to Blizzard and use the Arcane Breath to mop up. Looks like he'll do that.
Arcane Breath could discover the Deathwing, would be something on turn 10 if he can stall to get there. Like, he has a couple options, but maybe another Malagos. Let's see what he gets from this Arcane Breath. He's got to play it.
I think I like hitting the 4/6 here instead, so that way you can clean it up with the explosion next turn. There you go.
And that's what he went to do.
He grabs Icicle. Not a commonly played card, but that might come in handy here. A little extra card
Next turn
draw.
he'll be able to clean up a bit, right, with Arcane Explosion.
Yeah, you can take everything off the board except
But
for
he doesn't have
Reborn.
much follow-up.
Yeah, after that, I don't know where we go from here. Well, no, he can't. He can't target the 6/4 with the Icicle.
Yeah, this is gonna be a rough one. Rough.
Yeah, threats keep coming here for Efsirachi.
Well, I guess he could Blast Wave and Arcane Explosion, but then he's still left with a 6/1 and a 4/4 coming at him. So it's gonna be this is gonna be a tough one.
I think he might.
Oh,
he
one
might
turn
be
too
at the
soon.
mount. He might be at the Mountain Giant time here. He might just have to roll it.
I think it's the play, right? Like, it's your chance to stay alive.
Yeah, I think if you see him out here, you can take out 12 stats, well, effectively 6 stats of damage, but that still would end up leaving 15 on board plus a hero power. We see swipe in hand, so that would be game. But I think you have to take the chance on the Conjurer's Calling just to try and stay alive here.
Just hope for a couple 7/8 taunts. Yep.
If only Conjurer's Calling was 3 mana still, he could pair that explosion with it.
Oh yeah, that'd be a much different game right now. He is gonna go for the risky play. Gotta respect it.
Oh, you know what? He can't Conjurer's Calling now.
Because he chose to Blast Wave.
No, he chose to use the
Or
Arcane Explosion.
Explosion.
Yeah, either way though, not enough mana to do anything else, and that's 10, 11. Swipe is 15, so it's not quite enough yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. I guess he could play the 5-mana spell and hope for the 5-mana dragon. Does that present any chances at lethal? I don't think so.
I think what Mike's planning on here is he gets to Alexstrasza next turn, so even if 10 damage does come in, he at least can heal back up to 15 and clear off some of the damage with the Mountain Giant. That might be.
Oh, that's true.
Either that, or he's like, either you kill the Mountain Giant this turn, or I double Conjurer's Calling next turn and really hope to high roll you.
Hoping that's what happens, because like I said, I'm biased. I'm cheering for Mikey V.
You know, what was I thinking of again?
Oh, he plays it safe. I like this play.
That's good recognition right there. That's knowing what can beat you, and taking the right line there. So I do like that play, and it goes to show Efsirachi 2 seasons ago was our rookie of the season, and that's for plays like that. That's very smart.
Wondering what he opts to do here. Like, you could take a risk with a couple of these random cards with Dragon Queen or Totoleran, or you could, you can. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do here. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Alex keeps you alive guaranteed, or at least guaranteed to what's being presented to you right now, and that might be the safest option.
But that's the not lose play. I like playing Alex here, either Alex or Totoleran, but probably Alex.
Alex or Dragon Queen Alexstrasza is the clean play over Tortolan, and trying to think what would be in his deck that he would still want to actually cast. Flame Strike, perhaps.
I'm guessing Flame Strike. It's probably about it. Like, nothing else is really.
I mean, we've
really
seen Frostno,
game-changing.
we've seen Blizzard, so you can't draw those again.
Seen Rolling Fireball.
Yep, and I mean, that's really not enough power to justify the use of the Tortolan.
Come on, Cenarius. I know I'm cheering for Mikey V, but I'd love a Cenarius.
Marco
There's 2
Lowe has
damage.
A little damage, yeah, or Keeper of the Grove, either way.
Wondering what he goes for here. I would take Keeper of the Grove, but that's just me.
Yeah,
No,
I think I like taking Keeper just because if he does end up getting a taunt on board, you can just go ahead and delete that, no issue. I don't think whatever card you pick you're playing here. I think you're just taking it for now and put it in your pocket.
Keeper is so flexible; it could either give you that reach or, like you said, silence. But no, he opts for the buff.
Might have another swipe in the deck if he wants to try to dig for that. Again, we still have yet to see it in Big Hand.
Leroy could be in this deck. No, it doesn't look like your Leroy's in this deck if he's playing Frazzle Razzle.
Down.
Call Frizz Frazzle Razzle.
That is just way too much on board. I don't see an out here. It's got to be Dragon Queen.
Dragon Queen for the win. He needs the Paladin Legendary or Deathwing. No. Yeah, either one of those should do the trick.
He does still have Conjure as an option. Could clear off one of the 6/2s, double Conjure, but I don't think there's enough in the pool that that's a high enough percentage chance. Though what realistically out of Dragon Queen is going to save you 2 of the Emerald Explorers, I guess. 2 Wingardium of Beast.
Deathwing won't save him.
No, not at this point, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, Deathwing would save him, and so would the Paladin Legendary.
It would though, because he's got Scale Rider in hand for 2 direct damage. Efsirachi does, and then he's got the oh no, he didn't pick Keeper of the Grove. Never mind.
This is interesting. So he's done. He decided, I'm done.
That's it. So we'll go to a 1-1 series here as Efsirachi takes a win with the Druid. And now, brand new series here. It's basically a best of 3 from this point. So we've got a little bit of knowledge of the decks now, and as do the players. So we know we've got that Highlander Mage, which I think is probably the expected bring anyway from Mike, and then we've got the Galakrond Warlock over on the side of Efsirachi. I'm sorry, no, we saw the Galakrond Warlock one. We've got the Highlander Rogue on the side of Efsirachi. So it'll be interesting to see what we go with from here. I think Rogue is probably the safest bet for each of these players, just because the lower likelihood of a polarized matchup. But you're not a fan of that Highlander Rogue. You would prefer if it was just a straight Galakrond Rogue. Is what you were saying earlier?
Is he playing Galakrond Rogue? Is that what it turned out to be?
Yeah, it had Highlander qualities, but it was a Galakrond Rogue.
It was playing a couple of 2-ofs, yeah?
Was it? I don't recall seeing any duplicates, but I might be wrong.
No, he had 2 Eviscerates, but maybe he discovered one or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't recall. If it is, then it's just a regular Galakrond Rogue, because he definitely has the Galakrond cards, as we're seeing here. And we are going to see a Rogue Mirror. Mirror, I guess, depending on what decks they have.
Yeah, and he does have 2 2 Devoted Maniacs in the opening here.
You're right. So it's definitely not a Highlander. And Skyvateer, one of the new cards, is in Mike's opening hand. Stealth 1/3 Death Rattle, draw a card. So maybe he has a bit more of an aggressive kind of lineup here. Definitely could work, especially with the mulligan that Efsirachi just pulled.
I'm curious to see how this goes.
Oh, Pharaoh Cat, what a great draw on turn 1.
Love Feral Cat, especially now that it can discover the 6/8 with Reborn. Yuck.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Gross, especially in the Rogue Mirror. Let's hope we see that today.
And Efsirachi's going to have a few turns here where he just really doesn't have anything to do. He doesn't really want to play Edwin as a basic 2/2 and nothing to combo to get any lackeys out of the Evil Miscreant. Meanwhile, Mike will get his down.
These Draconic lackeys just keep coming, and I'm loving it.
Also picks up a Faceless Lackey.
And Faceless Lackey's so good early game that next turn he's got some great plays, probably appraise Galakron and maybe drop a couple lackeys here. He has some options.
Ooh, Edwin.
Adding the party.
Might be worth saving the 1-drops to pair with Edwin for next turn.
Really don't like putting the 1 attack on the stealth minion here.
Yeah, I think it would have been better to just get that extra damage right now. But Efsirachi can finally start playing some cards here if he wants to. He should have, the Miscreant's not a great drop by itself. I mean, he could praise Galakron on the 1/4 to combo out the Miscreant if he really wants to. But if he doesn't do that, I mean, he's waiting till turn 5 to even get anything down on board.
This is a really awkward hand for him, and yeah, it looks like he's gonna do that, which is interesting. Oh, he looked and said, "I don't like that you did it to the one with stealth. Let's fix that and give it to the 1/4."
Could be a 3/4 right now.
Draconic lackeys. Can we just look at all these Draconic lackeys today, everyone?
I mean, that's what 1, 2. We've seen at least
Or
like
8
5 or 6 of them in 3 games. But Titanic Lackey will give the Evil Miscreant a large health pool with a taunt.
Oh, and
now,
we're getting Edwin this turn.
Oh, he's going off. Yes. Edwin's going to be, what, a 6/6 or an 8/8? Did we get 4 cards? We did get 4 cards down.
Wow, this is a board that this could just be GG. Like, this is huge. This is big.
And Mike recognizes the spot he's in right now and has not seen really many answers out of Efsirachi and says, I'm going face, figure out a way to get through this 2/8. And I think that's the right move, because what does he do now to go ahead and make sure this Edwin doesn't get home over the next 2 turns?
I'm thinking maybe he's going to try to present his own Edwin, and that looks like what we're going to see here.
We're going to see some more lackeys. Rush and Witchy. And Edwin,
That's a different versatility here.
Yeah, get that backstab in there too. You might as well.
Feels bad, man. Backstabbing a 1/1, but you got to take off the damage where you can.
Yeah, I think either way, you don't need to really bother hitting the Edwin with it, because if you do, and he just puts it into your Edwin anyway, then it's kind of a wasted card. So I like using it on the Lackey there, and it also does take away, one turn from now a potential Heist Baron, but there are, of course, multiple Lackeys still in hand for Mike, so he would be able to play that if he had Heist Baron Togwaggle in hand.
Yes, yeah. I'm guessing we're gonna see a couple clears and then Edwin to the face, and that's setting up lethal in the near future if it goes through. I don't like leaving that 1/1 up, not knowing if your opponent has Togwaggle or not. But
I think the way you're probably planning on it here is he can play it next turn, and then whatever treasure he gets out of him is just irrelevant because you're dead anyway. So if he plays Togwaggle, then it's just over, so it doesn't really matter to Mike.
Face of Draconoid's really good if he can stabilize, so I think I would take that and hope for the best.
That is the pick here. And I think we're going to probably see some Eviscerate come out here, and maybe the Rush Lackey to just try to clear off as much of this board as possible. There's a way for him to get to that 8/8, I believe. Let's see if we can figure it out.
Well, he has Leroy in hand, which is probably... No, Leroy doesn't do it. I don't know.
No,
This
he
is
can't
going
get
to
through
be...
2 taunts.
Yeah, this is going to be game, I think, unless he summons, like, discovers a dragon. I don't know. Life Drinker could save lethal.
Life Drinker
This is gonna be
Rush,
close.
yeah. He's gonna use the 10/10 on the 4/5. Life Drinker will get rid of the Evil Miscreant. That still leaves 10 damage up, and there's the
Dagger is
Eviscerate
lethal,
hand.
right?
Yeah, he's basically setting up a counter here, hoping that Mike has to do some clearing, but he's got the Eviscerates at hand. There's no need. It's gonna be game.
And just in case Mike didn't see the lethal, here's a second Eviscerate, just to be sure.
Yeah, just to make sure you saw it. That's fine. So Mike will, in a much quicker game, pick up a 2-1 lead.
A very good game. Unfortunate, or not a great game actually. Unfortunately for Sriracha, he didn't have the action early enough, and Mike was just able to snowball and take the game.
And that is how Rogue do. And unfortunately, as you mentioned, Sriracha had no cards whatsoever to really work with, and that is just how it happens sometimes. And the Pharaoh Cat right on that first draw, right into that Skyvateer, just let Mike control that game from literally the moment it started.
And can we take this time to mention that Edwin Van Cleef is clearly a fair card that doesn't need to ever be Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, it's kind of one of those cards that it pops up in pretty much every meta because Rogue always has a presence, at least at the beginning of expansions, and everyone complains about it for a couple weeks, then he kind of just gets forgotten about. But still a great card that can absolutely swing games.
Oh, yes, it is.
Into game 4, we're going to see Mike bring the Mage back. Of course, it's his only remaining deck, and Sriracha opts to stick with the Rogue.
And this hand has a lot more early game action than his last hand, so I'm sure he's loving to see that. You want to play this Rogue deck like a tempo deck, and that's exactly what Pharaoh Cat's all about, is turn tempo into value. A Sealed Fate to boot. This is a great hand for really for both players. They're looking pretty solid here, but the Rogue's going to get out to a fast start.
And Sriracha does get that Pharaoh Cat down. He's got options in his hand. He's the one with the coin this game. Coin Miscreant next turn. Seal Fates, a couple turns down the road. So I like where he's at right now.
That Mountain Giant's nice to see. Yeah, definitely. You have to get this board clear because the Mage needs time to set up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
I like the Cone of Cold, and that's Mike's choice as well. Cone of Cold will definitely give him an extra turn to at least get deeper into his deck and potentially find what he needs to set up a board that needs to be answered. But Sriracha, in the meantime, has his choices here. I think Miscreant's probably the easiest play.
And if you've seen me play, you'll know that I take the easiest play a lot, so I respect that play.
Good pickup from Mike, the Arcane Intellect. He didn't really have anything to work with. That's going to give him 2 more cards. And good cards here, Blastwave and Blizzard.
Yeah, he has a lot of board control in his hand to get him to that top end of Mountain Giant and Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. Everything's control in this deck, and it's really looking exactly like it's going to plan here.
Not to mention that Voodoo Doll, too. So just in case there is a huge Edwin or any other large statted minion, Voodoo Doll will come in very handy.
At 5 mana, destroy anything is pretty great. And Voodoo Doll is really cool that it can actually take out those cards that can't be targeted. So Voodoo Doll is a really interesting card for this meta.
Cone of Cold looking like the play here. That doesn't take any minions off the board, but does set it up so that he can take 2 out next turn with Blast Wave and get 2 spells. Or, hey, maybe 3 spells.
Yeah, maybe 3. And Blast Wave, if I know anything about Hearthstone, when you're getting random cards in Mage, you're going to win a world championship.
Well, here's the interesting thing next turn. So you're going to go up to 8 cards when you draw. Then when you play your Blast Wave, you're going to get 2 spells right now. So he's okay as long as the Lackey doesn't come down. Other than that, he would be looking at an overflowing hand. And now you kind of do have a little bit of a decision to make whether or not you're comfortable burning potentially, whatever it is that you're going to draw the following turn.
You could Rolling Fireball instead and wait to get. You're gonna get value off that Blast Wave eventually with all the lackeys, so you might want to Rolling Fireball here and take out the. Oh, now it's not taking out the whole board though, so Blast Wave still might be the way to go.
Now, Malygos is sitting in hand. You might be okay with taking some damage this turn. He's not. He's just going to Blast Wave. And he gets a 0-mana spell to clear some space.
Does he play it, though, or does he want to use it as an Innervate later? That's the question. And he is going to play it, which I completely agree with.
I think you have to. I mean, the cards you put in your deck are in your deck for a reason, and you don't want to burn as much that much of your deck. It could be something crucial like Luna's, and if it was, that could just be enough to end the game right there.
I like to think that he knew he was going to get a 0-mana spell, so I really respect that play. Voodoo Doll's looking pretty good here as a way to deal with that 4/9.
Is it necessary, though, is my question. It's 5/9. You can just Blizzard here if you want to. He's got 2 Blizzards.
Blizzard's probably a better play. You're right. You're always right.
Not always, but I do appreciate the vote of confidence.
I'm here to make your ego just a little bigger.
Don't tell my wife that.
Oh, I won't.
So he does opt to take the
he ends up going with the
Drake. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't have a huge problem with that play. I think I like the Blizzard knowing that you got a second one in hand, but I can understand the decision.
I will act as your scale drive.
Those double Blizzards is actually really great in this matchup because the only card that double Blizzard's not going to deal with is like basically Kronk's, Togwaggle, and Edwin. So like I like having double Blizzard in this matchup.
Definitely. See him out the draw from Mike. Not great this turn. I don't see him using that, at least not for a little while here. Might want to start clearing a little bit of space in hand because you've got to want to use that Dragon Queen at some point, and right now she can't put anything into your hand.
Interesting.
I definitely don't think you want to play Mountain Giant here. You probably want to wait to combo in this matchup, or wait until you're running your opponent out of resources. So Blizzard's probably the way to go.
Yep, I'm fine with the Blizzard. I would have preferred using the one not created by Blast Wave just to keep a little bit of mystery, but he opts to just use the one he got later. Might have just lost track of which one was which.
I like your thinking, though. I do agree that he should have used the other one. So, Mike, when you're listening to this, I want you to give yourself one slap in the face.
Now, let's see. Efsirachi.
He wins. Otherwise, that's going to hurt.
I think he won't mind if he wins. At least not as much as he would otherwise.
Yeah.
So we've got Shadow Step in hand.
I don't
know if is there anything worth Shadow Stepping right now. He seems to be kind of mousing over it, but Kronks could be an option if he wants to just pluck his Galakrond from the deck right now.
Yeah, I think Shadow Stepping the Kronks would be a little too greedy. You might really just want to keep that there. But he might be... Nah, there we go. The Lackey's probably a better option. Miscreant, sorry.
And he'll immediately replay it, get a couple Lackeys, and pretty full hand over there. There's Zephrys.
Thinking Rolling Fireball, take out the taunt. At least you cleared most of the board, and you just have to deal with a 1/4.
Interesting.
I kind of like the possibility of maybe a slower play here, like something like Ziliax taking out the 4/3 and maybe Unexpected Results just gets 2 cards out of your hand.
Leaving the 6/6 up? I don't know. You know what you could also do is Simiat and destroy the 2 minions, but I like rolling fireball plus ping.
Yeah, I guess there isn't too many other situations where it's going to end up getting that much value, so that's fine. Yeah, I think that's. I personally do not have as much experience with the with Mage this expansion, so rolling fireball has not really been a card that I tend to get a lot of experience with in different situations. So I will defer to your experience on the matter. And double Witchy Lackey, and that's a much better draw than
Illidan
the
just
Aviana.
loves Illidan just loves getting transformed into. Am I right?
I guess that's a card that if I told you that we were going to see Illidan twice tonight, you would have probably scoffed at me. But it's already happened in the first series.
Yeah, well, pretty incredible. I'm pretty happy to see it too because Illidan doesn't get the respect he deserves.
He's one of the few cards that never has had like a remake version. You know, we've seen obviously Alexstrasza has come out with a couple versions, Malygos just in this game alone, both in hand, but no Illidan.
And Illidan would be a great one. Like that would get so many people excited.
Oh,
Not
without a
me.
doubt.
I couldn't care less, but I think a lot of people would love that. And that's a nice draw off the top.
That's that's getting played right now.
Yeah, clear the board, ping to finish it off. That just feels right. Just do it. Sometimes I yell at the computer screen.
I think what he might have been considering there is maybe Mountain Giant and then Reno. And if that happened, he would have been very sad. So I think that was the slight pause to say, do I try for the high roll and have the Mountain Giant stick, or do I just take the safe route? And he opted for the safe route. I think that's right.
Next turn, if I could see him doing a Mountain Giant plus Simiat and trying to really just clean this game up, because with Ziliax you can get a Bloodlust or a Wind Fury. Like there's a lot of cool things that could go on here. That next turn is going to be a big turn for Mikey V.
F-Srirachi making solid progress towards the Galakrond now. He's up to 3 invokes. Does he have another invoke in hand? I don't think so. No, he does not. So at this point, he still needs to draw one more if he wants to get maximum value out of the Galakrond, which at this point I think he probably do. And Mike is just overflowing with options right now, though the Dragon Queen is still not a viable one because he'll burn one of those cards. But Tiamat plus Mountain Giant is a lot of minion to deal with.
He's setting up lethal here, so if he can't deal with these, it's going to be lethal.
So
even if he leaves... No, he has to kill one of them at least.
Another damage lackey.
Backstab, deal 2 damage.
Yeah, he can take the Tiamat out. I think he's just considering what
Interesting
way
to
he'd
see
like
what
to
he
take
does.
it out. Yeah, lackey, rush gets you there. Or Ziliax, that's fine too.
Ziliax is probably... Oh, no, Ziliax. Oh, what is he doing here?
I don't know if the backstab's necessary. There's no way to get both of them off the board, and if he has the Conjurer's Calling in hand, Mike will just use that next turn, and then your damage is completely irrelevant. So I think you keep the backstab, and you just take out the CM out here, and you have to roll the dice.
And I think Mikey V is going to come back with another huge turn next turn with Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. So this is going to be interesting to see how our rogue reacts here.
Now he is getting a little low on health though. Oh,
Conjurer's Calling!
Conjurer's
Wow.
Calling, Ray of Frost. I think we're about to see a lot of big minions on board right now.
You got to go face here, right? Like I would every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you go face here. Maybe even roll. No, you don't roll Malygos. You want double Conjurer's Calling. There's no doubt. Conjurer's Calling Zephyrus, and then you say, "Show me the Pyroblast."
Probably. You might. I don't even know if you Zephyrus. I think you Ray of Frost, the Lifesteal guy, just to keep as many things off the table as possible.
Yeah, that's the better play. Big taunts.
Oh, wow, that's just beautiful. Play another one. Don't be scared. Play another one.
If you're playing a Ray of Frost, there's not too much downside in playing another one. I guess if they double 8/8 and then sap shenanigans with Eviscerate, there could be a bad time for you. But yeah, this is the move that I would take here, and I think we're seeing Galakrond next turn. That's for darn
Kill it.
sure.
Oh, don't kill it. Don't kill it. Sorry. Sometimes I talk to the computer.
I think it might have been more of a debate of whether or not to freeze a second minion there. I don't think there was ever a situation where he was going to kill it, but ooh, it could be Togwaggle on that. So Togwaggle or Galakrond. I think you have to Galakrond just to get the extra armor as well.
I think I would Togwaggle. Oh, never mind. I forgot that he had it fully.
Yeah, it's
invoked.
fully invoked. You're getting 4 0-cost cards here. Edwin, you're gonna have a big Edwin at the end. There's Viscerate. Oh, and Sap.
Oh, whoa.
That's a lot of good pickups right there.
This lethal? This might be lethal.
Not if he saps the 8/8.
How did he do that?
He does get a board clear out of it though,
I didn't love that. I didn't love
and
that
a
play.
giant Edwin.
Oh, yeah, he did great. This is great. This is great.
A
folks.
game that looked
You don't see
locked
this
up.
every day.
A game that looked locked up about 45 seconds ago now is completely swung in the other direction. And Mike, how do you deal with the 14-14? I mean, we got to see Blizzard here, or at least Ray of Frost.
I'm thinking you do Mountain Giant into Blizzard and hold your breath. I don't know.
Well, Blizzard, if you don't ping off the 4-2, that becomes a 4-1. That's 4 damage, and that's out on board. Plus the 5 damage claw. You gotta go ahead and clear everything.
Well, you could Mountain Giant into Blizzard into Ray of Frost. Zeph might be the best play here.
But if he uses this with the Twisting Nether, it's still gonna leave a 4-1 on board.
Which is almost lethal. It will be lethal.
It's lethal
because of
as far as we know. Right.
Velaki.
Yeah, he does not know that. Mike does not know that, but it would be lethal for F-Sriracha if he leaves that 4-1 up after the Reborn. Siphon Soul.
That's a
is
good play.
Not bad. But where do we go from here now becomes the question.
I didn't like that. I didn't love that.
So Heist Baron's coming down here. And we're going to see 3
Oh my
more
God.
free cards from his deck.
Oh, how did you know that he would pick that?
it's about the right choice in about 95% of situations. Sap is not the best card. There's Leroy. That's lethal.
Game.
Nothing like a free Leroy. And
G Mikey V.
and now we go to game 5.
Now we got what? Mage versus.
Mage versus Warlock. Now we haven't seen the Warlock that F-Sriracha is bringing yet, so we do not quite know what the matchup's going to be, but this will be game 3 that we're seeing the Mage. Looks like the weak spot in the lineup at the moment, and it's unfortunate because that game looked like it was going to go Mike's way. It looked like he was going to get what he needed out of it, and then just that giant Galakrond swing turn at the end. I would say he was about 99% to win that game, right up until the moment Galakrond got dropped.
Yep.
And I say that with absolutely
rogue did.
100% confidence and 0% evidence.
Warrior.
Wait, Warrior? We have Warlock.
Oh,
Let the games begin.
is that a mistake?
I'm going to the website.
Supposed to
real
be a
quick.
war.
It is a Warrior. I was incorrect.
Huh. Well, I'm not sure how this matchup goes. Time to find. I'm gonna take a quick look for that.
Well, it
I'm
looks-
guessing the Warrior has the upper hand, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, especially if it's an aggressive Galakrond version, then I would imagine that the Warrior does have the upper hand.
That 8/8 the Poacher could be good if he ever leaves a 3/2 up, one of the Scions up. Actually, it looks like the mage is actually slightly favored in this matchup, generally.
I mean, there are so many different little nuances to a Galakron Warrior. If it's like a value style deck and it's just not quite fast enough to get in under the mage, I can see that number shifting in the opposite direction. But I
Actually, on ranked 1 to legend or 5 to legend, you're looking at 50.8%. So basically, right down the middle.
almost
So
even,
it really
yeah.
will come down to play in this matchup. Draws. This is interesting. I think that the Warrior is looking pretty good here.
I mean, the Bone Wraith is going to definitely stop a little bit of damage, which is nice, especially since he got the double Galakron. 7 damage that you absolutely wanted to go to face instead of sinking into a taunt minion.
It looks like he is playing the control version, so I don't actually have stats on that if that's the case.
I would imagine that plays out better for Mike, since his end game is going to be better than F. Sriracha's end game, because you want, for F. Sriracha, like, usually that type of, like, the value croned warrior, it's like, I want to keep making more Scions of Ruin, and I want to, you know, keep recycling things into my hand, but, like, those minions aren't stronger than what Mike is going to be able to pump out at the end of the game, so to me, it feels like Mike has to be favored if he can survive the initial onslaught of the waves of the invokes. But right now he's looking okay.
Does Value Galakron usually play Highlander cards or not? I'm not familiar with this deck at all.
There, again, different flavors of it, but I think that it might play just like Zephyrus would be the only one. No, it might play Dragon Queen Alexstrasza as well.
Ziliax here, Ziliax here. I feel like you could have just maybe passed, but maybe you don't want to. But I feel like you didn't need to play a card that turn. Bad, he has nothing to combo with that Dragon Caster. Probably. I don't know what you do here. Maybe Voodoo Doll?
I don't know if Voodoo Doll is strong enough here. I mean, you might, if you're going to do that, you might as well just ping the 4/1, I suppose.
Got a point. Maybe you just want to play out your Dragon Maw Poacher.
It doesn't feel great as a 4/4, but I mean, it at least will contest the 4/4 on F. Sriracha's side next turn.
I really think that he should just play. I don't think that was the play. I think the Dragon Poacher was the play here. I don't know. Like I don't see what he accomplished that turn.
Yeah, it didn't really do a whole lot.
Did one card for half a. Or I guess they each used half a card. The Arcane Intellect was a good pull, but he had no way of knowing that was coming.
I guess the good news is that F. Sriracha didn't really have any way to punish it immediately. Ziliax would have been the only other real play from hand there.
I'm really thinking. I don't like that these play. I don't think he needed to play that this turn. Like I don't think you need to pressure too much here, but maybe I'm wrong. Zephyrus into what? I don't know. Especially Mikey V, I don't think he needs to be playing cards like this turn. You could have took a turn off and played Arcane Intellect and seen what you got from it. I really don't like wasting your coin into Zephyrus here.
I mean, even if you really want to, Dragon Caster into Arcane Intellect would have been fine as well.
Yeah. just to get some pressure and some value. But this play here is just, you're not getting anything great. I'm sure this isn't what he was expecting to see. I don't know if Zephyrus interacts poorly with the coin or not. Like, it doesn't seem like Zephyrus noticed that he's at 6 mana. But it's easy to say when you're not playing in front of the viewers. Again, though, not much to punish him here, except for continuing his plan of probably play Arcane Intellect to see what you find. Or you know what, Toterlian's pretty cool too.
I guess if you play Rolling Fireball here, you're hoping that you don't hit your own guy.
You probably just play Flame
Yeah,
Strike
Blizzard
or
or Flame
Blizzard.
Strike. Yeah, I didn't realize that the minion had dropped to 4/2 and was no longer 4/4. At that point, yeah,
Oh,
Blizzard.
okay.
And even then, Flame
Yeah,
Strike
and with the
would've been fine, too.
4/4. Yeah, I was just gonna give you a hard time about that one.
Either
Don.
way, there's no situation you take a chance on the Rolling Fireball unless you really want to add some extra RNG to your RNG. But Dynamatic seems fine here. Counters that Tortolan real easy and gives Efsirachi a little bit of the board presence back. But he's just not making enough headway, as far as I can tell, that, Mike is going to be in
Alex
strong
Straza.
position here.
What do you think about a tempo Alexstrasza?
I think that's perfectly fine.
I agree with myself and you.
It's 15 damage. It's 15 damage in a giant body.
You're dealing 15, you get him down to 20, and then you can start setting up some crazy lethals, and I don't see why not. There's very little downside. You're not going to use Alexstrasza to heal up in this matchup. Very unlikely. I just say I miss Jaina. I miss Frostland's Jaina.
I miss her and I don't at the same time.
You sound like you're me talking about my ex.
Ouch.
Don't tell my current girlfriend. You can clear this. You can clear this 6/6. And develop. This is a good play.
Act as your scale.
Right now, Mikey doesn't really have anything nice to answer it with. But that's always nice. Can't see anything else other than Alexstrasza here.
No, it looks like the obvious play, but that Deathwing is not the card you want to see, as it's pretty much a dead card in your hand at the moment.
For now, but Deathwing, a 0 mana 12/12 that destroys the board can be great later. You know, like if it comes down to it, where Farachi sets down a big lethal and then boom, destroy it all, and we get to see some cool animations. I'm hoping that we get to see the Deathwing animation.
And Efsirachi knows that right now he needs to keep going face to have a chance. Power of Creation's a decent pickup here, but Mike is going to want to find a way to, make sure he doesn't take more damage next turn, which a taunt would be helpful.
Power Creation has like a very high chance of getting a taunt, so I think that's the play here.
Yeah, and I think the right move here, Dragoncaster into that Power of Creation.
Absolutely.
No
Just to
taunt,
develop
though.
the 4/4. Yeah, you
So-
don't want the missile launcher, that's for sure. I think you take the Archmage, yeah, and hope that it'll help your AoE late in the future that you get.
Oh, I was going to say Leroy would have been a very bad time for Mike because
And
that
we
was
have a-
lethal.
Sorry, man.
Oh, that's
I
okay.
interrupted you.
That's okay. Brawl comes down. Let's see what manages to live through it. It's the 4/7, one of the 4/7s. So not great, not awful.
And not terrible either, though. Like he had worse options. One.
And he might just want to awaken here so he's better prepared for next turn. You know, hoping to draw lethal into hand. Is Alex Straza on your own face the right move here? I think it is.
And remember earlier
yeah.
when I said you're not going to do that often? Well, I was wrong.
It could be enough. And now we've seen the brawl come out, and Mike has to wonder, does Efsirachi have an option here to, you know, survive over the next 3 turns?
He's Mike's in a pretty good spot here. Galakrond is huge though, but I don't know if he's probably not playing any charge minions. I don't think he'd be playing Kor'kron Elite in this deck. Double Dragon Breeder is very greedy as well, so we'll see what he has in store here. I like Frost Nova here. Yeah, of course you draw first. Oh, and look at that, Reno Jackson.
Reno
Easy
seems
play.
good.
Got that Gatling gun and go crazy. No, don't play that. Play the Reno. I understand wanting to play the Mountain Giant, but I feel like you save the Mountain Giant for another turn. You're not going to set up lethal by playing it here, so I don't see the point. Do you set up lethal? I like the Reno more myself. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, I think I prefer the Reno, but I can see the merits of this play as well. You're setting up the lethal. You know Galakrond's in hand. I think the problem here becomes, like, you don't know what he's going to draw off this Galakrond.
This could be game-winning if he doesn't draw something with initiative or taunt, and I don't think he has much in that regard right now.
No, shields are gone.
And that's game. Mikey V is gonna win it, right? I don't think there's anything here for him.
Well, he's got, what, 20 damage on board, 24 he has to get through. So, as of right now, nothing, not showing lethal yet on board anyway.
Oh, I forgot about the
5 armor
the armor
there.
gang. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I spoke too soon. Sorry about that, Mikey V.
That's okay. I'm sure he forgives you.
You don't know him like I do. He'll never forgive me for that one. Does he have direct damage in this deck is the question. I don't think so, so this is going to be interesting. Oh, this could be it. Does he take it? Does he take the swing and try to find some 4 damage off of Kalagos?
I don't like going for broke.
He can clear the board here.
But he's also going to allow him to get 6 more health in the form of armor.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And for all
Animation's
Mike
really
knows,
cool.
Efsirachi just drew a Leroy that is now humongous.
I doubt this deck's playing Leroy, and I'm sure Mike probably feels the same way. Because you're not... Oh, I guess Mike hasn't seen much other than... No, he's seen the Dino Manic. So I don't think you'd expect Leroy here. Or Kor'kron
I don't think
Elite.
you would... I mean, I think it's just one of those things in the back of your mind, and Brawl is really probably the only card that could have saved Efsirachi other than a card that would have dealt lethal damage. And we'll see it here.
All plus Scion here is pretty huge.
And that's exactly what's coming down. That Scion now makes it very, very dangerous for Mike.
But now if you're Mike here, you're gonna have to play Kalagos, or you're gonna have to play Deathwing. But I think you play.
Well, here's the
Or
thing.
what?
You can play your Kalikos, and then if you don't hit something, you play Deathwing.
And then you lose. Oh, then you. Rolling Fireball is not enough.
It is though. If
Oh, you know what?
if he uses the
I think it's
Dragonmaw
Deathwing.
Poacher. No, he uses the Rolling Fireball to take out 2 of those, and the Dragonmaw Poacher
Oh,
on the
yeah.
3rd.
Yeah, but now it's lethal. Now he loses. I think you had to go for the play because now, like, I know he couldn't see the hand,
What-
but that's lethal for Farachi.
Oh yeah, because the devoted maniac. You're right.
Yeah, he couldn't
Yep.
have known, and most
He
of
couldn't
the
have known.
invokers were gone. But I don't know. I think I would have went for the unsafe play, but that's probably why I lose so many games.
It is tough. Obviously we have the caster vision, and it makes it a lot easier for us to sit here and criticize a play. But I think Mike made a solid play there. It was unfortunate that it did not work out. But Srirachi does come back to get the 3-2 win. And that is going to give Toxic Reinforcements the lead. They were down 5-4 at the outset of this match, and now they're going to be up. Or I'm sorry, they're going to be tied 8-8, so it won't give them the lead.
Toxic Reinforcements. He won his game 3 times, and as a reward for that side quest, he got to summon 3 leopard gnomes.
That's I forgot. I was like, what are you talking about? That I forgot about. It's an actual card in Hearthstone. So a great series to open the night, a long series too, as we're now into 20 minutes over the expected start time of the second series. But that's how it goes sometimes.
They were good games.
Oh, great games, very engaging. If I hadn't messed up the classes, we might have actually been able to predict some of the things that had happened a little bit better. But
They're not here to hear us predict. They're here to hear us make mistakes.
well, then we gave the people what they wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and let the next set of players know that we are ready for them. And as we're running a little bit long, we'll try not to land on this this delay too long here. I'll let them know challenge up and go when they're ready. Let us know the bands. But
Absolutely.
now we will switch gears slightly. Of course, we're moving into the Hero Series, so now we're going to Last Hero Standing instead of Conquest, which means rather than 3 wins with all decks, you have to get, you just can't have 3 losses with your entire unbanned lineup. So, looking at the classes here, we've got Hunter, Mage, Rogue, Warlock for Ron Mexico versus Druid, Hunter, Priest, Rogue for Icicles. And a little bit of diversity here, which is kind of the hallmark of Last Hero Standing. What do you think we might see for bans?
I'm not sure. I always like to ban Priest, but I have no idea what these guys are doing. And like when it comes to Last Hero Standing, this is not my forte, so I'm not sure. But I could see Priest getting banned. What were the? Can you run down the classes once more while we wait for them to queue up?
Yeah, as you can see on screen here, it's Hunter, Mage, Rogue, Warlock for Ron Mexico, Druid, Hunter, Priest, Rogue for Icicles.
I think if you're the Hunter player, you're going to be banning Priest for sure. So I'm kind of excited to see because you need to win with every deck, right?
Nope, you just need to not lose 3 times. So not lose with all
that's
3
right.
decks. Yeah.
That's right. So that Priest is going to just demolish Hunter. So I would get out of there with that.
Yeah, ideally you want to ban off the deck that has the highest chance of sweeping you, because with the counter Q ability, you can bring some decks that necessarily don't work across the board. As long as they target one specific matchup, that can still work. So, we talked about in Conquest, Rogue is one of those decks that doesn't quite have a terrible matchup. It has some unfavored, but they're not massively unfavored. Hunter, also a very decent option for ban. So I could see Hunter being banned both sides again. I could see Rogue, or maybe a mix of the two.
When it comes to Rogue, it turns out that when you draw 4 cards that cost 0 mana and 3 cards that cost 0 mana, no matchups are that bad for you.
Usually that is good. I will say that we've got the bans, and we're wrong. So let me go ahead and pop those up on screen here.
What did they go with now?
So we won't be seeing Priest and we won't be seeing Mage in this game.
Oh, interesting, a Mage band. Well, the Mage band that I want to see is Medivh, Jaina, and Young Medivh all partying.
Different type of band. But yeah, we're going to see a pretty standard fare here with the Hunter, Rogue, Warlock versus Druid, Hunter, Rogue. So let's give them the go-ahead since we are obviously a little bit behind at this point, and we will jump into game 1. We will have Ron Mexico on the bottom, Icicles on the top.
And I'm excited. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see how it goes. You do me a favor and send them a message to accept my friend request because I cannot watch at the moment.
Have either of them accepted your friend request?
No, neither of them have. Just fair. I get it. I'm not that attractive.
Don't sell yourself short, man. That's a heck of a corn dog you have in that picture there.
That is a heck of a corn dog. You've got a point there.
Icicle said he did not get your friend request.
Did it again because I must have done something wrong. It's from Into the Wild. I might have messed up.
Might have a full friends list as well. I don't know how popular you are. Interestingly, as we wait to get going here too, this is the first game of this series. Somehow we've made it Saturday and nobody's played at all in these two for these two teams. So it's 0-0 right now. This is the first matchup of the week.
Oh, wow. Oh, I got him. And now just Ron I need. Yeah, they
Alright.
both added me, so all is well with the world.
There we go. So sorry for the delay there, everybody. We will be getting the games going here in just a second. Thanks for sticking with us.
If you have to blame anyone for these delays, you can blame Nate Wolf. I know a lot of you guys don't know him, but trust me, it's his fault.
I'll go with that then.
These are going to be fun games. I love Last Hero Standing. I've never played it myself, but I've always loved the idea of it. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I would love to see a sweep or maybe a reverse sweep. It's best 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5 here.
So it's best of 5, just like Conquest, but we rarely seem to see the reverse sweep since there is the counter queuing. You see a lot of 3-2s. You do see a lot of sweeps if you happen to lose the first matchup and it's unexpected. Then it can lead to a pretty quick series.
No, that makes sense.
And this is a pretty hype matchup. Ron Mexico and Icicles have both been playing out of their minds in multiple series over the last few weeks here, so I'm very excited to see some extremely solid play. And we're going to see Hunter for Ron Mexico. We're going to see Rogue for Icicles here in game 1.
Who do we have at the bottom?
Ron is on the bottom.
For Ron. Fact is that Ron likes Mexico.
Well, I don't know if anybody we've talked about this. Ron and I have talked about this, but the origin of the name is that's the pseudonym that Mike Vick used to use when he would check into hotels. Mike Vick, a famous NFL player, of course, for those who are not aware.
Also famous for hurting and abusing dogs.
Yeah, he likes you to forget about that if you don't mind. So we're seeing Quest Hunter out of Ron Mexico, and he's going to have, obviously, the quest on 1 to play. But not only that, he's got the side quest, too, which is a very nice piece. Clear the way.
I say that this deck is my favorite deck in Hearthstone, and from my experience, he is extremely favored in this matchup.
Yeah, Quest Hunter is it's one of those decks that uses your strength against you, especially if you're Rogue. Rogue wants to go wide a lot of the time, and then you just unleash the hounds, finish your quest, and blast them for anywhere between 15 to 21 damage.
Yeah, and you got that combo where even on an empty board, you go and Leroy Jenkins, Unleash the Hounds, Hero Power for 14 damage out of nowhere. This deck it tugs on my heartstrings. I love it, and I love the Boom Master Flark in this deck.
Was gonna ask you about that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to, you have a lot of experience with Quest Hunter, and I haven't seen Boom Master played in a lot of these lists.
A lot of them were playing the 7-mana 1/7 Shuma, and
Yes.
Shuma's fine, but Boom Master is a lot better in the sense that usually 5 spaces is all you're gonna want to use, and it gives Ziliax a lot of value, and it makes board clears so much worse against you. I think Boom Master is really good in this deck as a top end piece.
Okay, I like that, and that's definitely valid reasoning for it. Like you said, yeah, Shuma. A lot of the time, you're not going to be able to get the full value anyway. So yeah. Plus, the Boom Master, the Boom Bots, or the bombs, I should say, they do damage too. So that's a little bit of extra reasoning there. A little bit gets you closer to lethal.
And a lot of the time with Boom Master, you'll play it, and you'll get to use your hero power next turn often because it's towards the end of the game, and yeah, you'll be able to clear the board, clear through taunts while still dealing damage. It's very powerful, very versatile. I think it's pretty much become a core card as of the recent weeks in Quest Hunter.
Miscreant is active for Icicles. He's gonna get that down, and he'll get home with the 4/1. Use the weapon to mop up the 1/1 over on Ron's side, and now Ron, easy choice with the Spring Paw, and Lynx will go ahead and complete the quest, and that's gonna go ahead and swing this board back in Ron's favor, as that Griffin will easily take care of the Lackey, or Miscreant, I should say.
Very surprised that he's playing both Shuma and Boom Master. It seems to be working out for him fine, especially with this coin in hand. But you don't see that very often. Usually you got to pick between your 7 drops.
Yeah, it does seem a little greedy, but far be it for me to question Ron's early season success.
Especially in Last Hero Standing, where you're going to kind of get to pick your poison a bit. So I think that's pretty smart too. Maybe that came into a part of why he picked these.
Well, I guess would he not be running the Swarm of Locusts instead, opting to run Shuma?
Sure,
and
he's
Master?
probably also running it. That's probably the most powerful card in the deck.
It's pretty key in my opinion. There it is. Now I was just thinking in that 6/7 area, that not the same mana slot, but roughly at the same phase of the game. That's pretty top heavy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what he might have cut out for it, and it's probably something along the lines of maybe it's the 4/4 Faceless Corruptor. Maybe it's Ziliax and Snip Snap, or Ziliax he's not running. I'm not sure.
Is there any reason there he wouldn't have wanted to play the side quest and then to coin into Boom Master next turn?
The only reason I could see is that he probably feels like he might need to play Swarm of Locusts next turn, and if that is the case, then
That's fair.
you'll never want that quest down if you're playing
Right,
Swarm.
immediately burns the Griffin. Yeah.
It burns the card. Oh, tracking might be why he's playing 2 7-drops, so that if he loses one, he still has some high-end power.
We'll see Shuma here, and a big advancement of the quest as 7 minions come down on board. And it's 5 damage showing, so there's a reasonable expectation that Icicles will have a way to clear Shuma this turn with pretty minimal damage invested.
I don't think he minds about Shuma going away here. You
did what
really
it was
want
there for.
Shuma. Exactly. You want Shuma there for the 7. Next turn, if he clears here, next turn we can see Quest come online with Swarm of Locusts. I'm not sure he'd want to do that, but he could do that.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't want to use the side quest because you'd run into the same situation with Shuma as you would with Swarm of Locusts. But Swarm of Locusts would get us almost all the way to if he gets a full board of it, gets him all the way to the quest.
Yep. It looks like he's gonna clear, or at least clear. He's gonna clear Shawarma.
Yeah,
Shawarma.
Cheap Shot was what I thought was the most interesting pick of the Discover there, and it does get a chance to take out quite a few of these tentacles.
I really like the animations on these tentacles.
Yeah, the bad news here for Icicles is that he can go ahead, Ron, that is, can go ahead and sink every one of these 1/1s into the shield, and then just place Swarm of Locusts and finish up this quest.
I think you're better off playing the 7-drop here just to fill your mana perfectly, and the next turn you could either hero power and then play something and then play the quest. Like you can get 2 hero powers in next turn. You could
Potentially.
snip snap. You could snip snap to buff these guys. This is definitely what I would have done in this situation.
The way I was thinking was that he would play the Swarm of Locusts and then play the Clear the Way after it. But
No,
but yeah,
that's very true.
I can see this going going this way as well.
At this point, clear the way is. I almost feel like he's gonna wait. I'm wondering if he's decided not to play the Daring Griffins. That might be what he cut to fit some of these other cards.
Oh yeah, okay.
in.
The 4/1 3-drop.
I would personally be playing it because it does go so good with clear the way. But again, it looks like he's doing a great job. He's definitely in a favorable position right now.
And a lot of extra stuff coming to hand here. We replayed that Ethereal Lackey from the turn prior, ended up with a prep, and then the Draconic Lackey, our best friend tonight, ends up netting an Evasive Worm for Icicles. Sap will go ahead and get rid of Boommaster. Will not get rid of him, but send him back to hand. And now we are just playing a ton of cards and a big Edwin. I like it. 14-14. Definitely. There's the Diving Griffin that we just talked about.
So, you definitely want to get that hero power active this turn. Just wondering how he wants to go about it. Probably. Oh, maybe.
Well, you don't want to snip snap onto
know.
your O2s, or it doesn't count as a minion.
And tracking is probably the way to go. Leroy, you want Leroy here, I feel, so you can set up a lethal soon. But maybe he's gonna go with Desert Spears so he can get some constant pressure going. I don't think Bone Wraith is even in contention here.
Realistically, he's got 2 turns, because if that Edwin hits face twice, you lose. So I think what he probably is looking for, he's got Unleash the Hounds in hand. If he can complete the quest with Unleash the Hounds, he can just set lethal on his own. You know, the next turn he can just go ahead and swing enough damage in that he doesn't need anything else.
I agree. I like this.
He's going to use it now.
I like this
the
play.
quest.
Hero power and get in for some serious damage.
Should he have hero power before, or is he going to play the quest? Because that's a.
I think he's running out of time. Is my opinion, because I think he should have hero powered first to get that extra damage in.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he intended to play
now,
the side quest.
Unless he taunts here, it's game over. Like the only option is to somehow either kill him or taunt up, and it doesn't look like either of those are going to be happening
Absolutely.
here. He's going to have to play the Discover Lackey for any chance.
Yeah, and I think what we talked about, you're seeing the power of that Boommaster Flark is that even if you want to go ahead and remove those bombs, you're still taking damage anyway. So either way, it's kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't. But we're going to see Icicles really just kind of hope he pulls something out of nowhere.
I don't think, I'm trying to think of any card that could like Vanish back in the day could have got him out of this, but I don't see a way out. I think it's just game over. With Leroy in hand.
Sap does get
power.
rid of a little. Yeah, I mean, he can't know the Leroy's in hand. Obviously, that was a great pickup out of the tracking, and that's going to be enough, even if he does clear off all of these, which he will. It's still going to put Icicles down into lethal range, and Ron Mexico is going to go ahead and take game 1 with the Quest Hunter. So we will see that again in game 2.
Wondering what he's going to play. What does Icicles have to counter now?
So the next 2 options are going to be a Hunter of his own and a Warlock.
Sorry, did you say Warlock?
And Warlock, yes.
Warlock. You know what? Quest Hunter seems pretty good against the. You know what? If it's Face Hunter, he's in trouble because Face Hunter has a very good matchup against Quest Hunter. But Highlander Hunter, I feel very happy being the Quest Hunter in that matchup. As well as Warlock. I like being Quest Hunter against Warlock. Choice for this week, we'll see.
Yeah, a couple flexible classes here, so... I'm sorry, not Warlock. I was looking at... Icicles is Druid and Hunter. I was looking at Ron Mexico's classes. I apologize for that. So, Druid... Is that viable against Quest Hunter? I don't know if Embiggen is fast enough. I guess if you're running Token, but then Token also runs into the same issues where, Unleash the Hounds can just counter kill you.
Druid is going to be another tough match. Quest Druid.
Quest Druid.
Oh my god. But Quest Hunter wins this, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. This is going to be fun. But I think Quest Hunter has the upper hand here because I think he can get under this deck.
I will say I did not expect Quest Hunter versus Quest Druid tonight as a matchup that we would be viewing.
Played this matchup a lot when these quests came out. So they've changed quite a bit now, obviously. But back in the day, a lot of these games came down to whether or not they drew how many hidden Oasis Druids they got. So I'm excited to see how this game goes.
And we'll just see the basic turn 1 plays from each of these decks. Quests come down. Icicle's not really... obviously he doesn't have a whole lot of options here, but he doesn't really want to do a whole lot these first 4 turns. Quest Druid, a lot more popular last expansion than it has been this expansion. You just kind of, float these first few turns and just try not to take a massive amount of damage.
I'm guessing he's playing, I don't know what he would have added to the deck. Maybe the 3/2 that gets a coin when you control a quest.
Oh, Rising Winds, yes.
This is very good.
I will say this is actually, looking at HS Replay, this is a slightly favored matchup for the Quest Druid. They are 53.6% to win, so it's fairly even. I wouldn't say it's a massive advantage either way, but yeah, slightly in Icicle's favor.
I'm not gonna lie. I usually cheer for the underdog, but I love Quest Hunter, so I'm cheering for this Quest Hunter to sweep. And if not, that's fine. But I love Quest Hunter, guys. What can I say?
I like both of these decks, quite honestly. A lot of fun to be had for both of them. Quest Hunter is one of those that I'm not gonna say that on stream because then my future opponents might have a little bit of information on me. So never mind. We're gonna go ahead and just pull that one back.
Oh my goodness! I'm bringing Quest Hunter against you every time I play.
I see people like Itachi sitting out there in chat tonight. He'd be posting that what I was gonna say in every Discord he's a part of, to know that any way that someone could have any information on me. I see you out there, buddy.
If he had your address, he'd be posting that in Discord. It's like, hey, go break his legs so he can't play.
He's not that type of guy. We just have a nice little rivalry going.
Oh, I thought that was a nice leg break.
Oh, those come in a nice variety?
Apparently.
Crystal Merchant will come down
This
here.
will be the turn Quest will activate, right?
Yes, Quest will activate after this turn and get an extra draw for Icicles.
This is going to be cool. He's got Nourish plus Rising Winds next turn if he wants. He's got a few cool things he could do. I'm excited to see how this
and he'll
game
get to
goes.
play the Anubisath
Hidden
as well.
Hidden Oasis is huge in this matchup. So he's going to hope to draw that.
Well, he's going to draw 3 extra cards next turn and get the Anubisath out of hand. So he'll have enough maneuverability there to go ahead and get a full draw and keep moving through the deck to find the cards that he needs.
And Starfall post-quest is very good against both Shuma and Flack, the big mech guy that makes all the little goblin guys.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know his name.
Boom, Master Flark.
Pretty interesting. These decks really line up in a fun way against each other. Next turn, Nourish, guaranteed Nourish into the 5-mana 3/5, but and maybe Rising Winds or something. It's going to be a good turn.
I think Nourish is the play on 6 when you're not facing any sort of immediate massive threat. Like I said, he's got a Anubisath in hand. He might even draw a second one for all we know. And there's Ysera.
You could Power Word Defender.
Oh, wow, second.
Yeah. You probably power. You know what I mean? Power of the Wild here. This is a big turn.
Great turn. Great turn for Icicles there. And I like the inclusion of Ysera Unleashed in this deck. It adds another extra bit of juice, especially in a deck that does tend to go through its cards pretty quickly. Very easy to go ahead and have a turn where you just pulled out multiple possibly large dragons. And now I like the double Anubisat, because you're sitting here as Ron saying, I really don't want to take 4 damage of my own accord just to get another rush minion on board. So this is a kind of a tough spot here for Ron.
I'm really surprised he's not playing the faceless corruptors in this deck. Like, I feel like those are pretty key, and I don't think he's playing them. We haven't seen one in this series anyway. So I think that's going to hurt him a bit too in this matchup, not having that initiative.
And he'll just get down a fairly large Snip Snap. I would imagine that at least something mechanical is going to live through the next turn, possibly allow for a Ziliax. But even if the 4/6 does get taken out, that is still 4 more minions towards the quest for Ron Mexico, which would put him at 12 going into the next turn.
And then if the board gets cleared, then Shuma puts him right near the end. But it's not looking good for the quest hunter here. You gotta see that.
Yeah, a lot of options for Icicles in his hand. Oasis Surger is the pick this turn, but he's still got Starfall. He's still got Swipe in hand, and he just picked up another Power of the Wild too. So there is really a lot. Oh man, the Swipe, it just lines up so perfectly there.
There's not much coming back. Like, I guess there's a few things that he could do here, but I don't see it. I don't see it working out too well for him.
He's gonna have to unleash.
Get the quest off this turn. He's very close. He can get up to 19. He can get up to 17 with or 18 with unleash, but he won't quite get there.
I guess you're tracking. See what you get. I don't think there's a card in there that saves you. Ooh, Varanus, but that's only going to drop everyone's health this turn and not actually. He is running the Faceless Corruptor, as you can see, but yeah, Varanus would have been, if he had one more turn to live, the right pick.
I need to talk to him later because I have no idea what he cut out for the Shrooma. Maybe it's the second Faceless. That's my guess. Faceless is really cool. Yeah, Vernaris is good. I don't think there's a win here. I think it's done.
Yeah, there is not, unfortunately. This is going to go to Icicles, and it will be knotted up at 1-1, and we are tracking for another potential blockbuster series here.
You gotta love when these games go long and there's tons of action. There hasn't been too much one-sidedness tonight. This is gonna be a really fun one. Fall for the win.
Yep, that's just asserting dominance right there.
Why not? Hope to see it.
And on we go to game 3 here. So we will see that Quest Druid again. And we will see either the Rogue or the Warlock for Ron Mexico. Trying to think, what would he probably prefer to bring if he, prospectively in his lineup.
I think you bring the Rogue, right, and hope to tempo out. I guess you could tempo out with a Warlock too, so it'll be interesting to see. If you don't get a fast enough start, though, this Quest Druid could really take over.
Actually, the Warlock here, it looks like in general the Zoo is pretty well favored against Quest Druid, but remains to be seen exactly what type of Warlock we're looking at here. It looks like it could still be anything.
It could be Zoo or traditional. Oh, it's
Not
traditional
anymore.
Galakrond.
It's traditional Galakrond, which is significantly closer to an even matchup, slightly favored for the Quest Druid. So if he's bringing Warlock in this game, then he doesn't feel confident in whatever Rogue he's bringing, which must mean he's bringing the Highlander Galakrond Rogue, because that's the only Rogue that's outright unfavored against Quest Druid.
And this hand is it's okay, but it's not exactly, especially when your Druid opponent has the coin. This is looking good for the Quest Druid here. Swipe is incredible in this matchup, followed by Starfall. He's got a great hand here.
Has to be Cultist. Ron Mexico needs to start making some headway. Not the greatest play, but, it gets something on board. And you know Icicles isn't going to be able to really fully take advantage of clearing that, at least for another turn or two. Though that Wrath lines up nice with the 3-1.
In this matchup, I could definitely see him playing the Swipe on curve and delaying the quest here, especially if Yeah, I think you definitely have to play swipe this turn and just
Sure. Once
delay
you
your
see
quest
that
one
play,
turn.
I think that's the I think that's perfectly fine.
Uh,
The only other option, I guess, now you do have the Crystal Merchant you can plop down there if you would like to.
but if you're Quest Druid, you really want to stabilize, because once you stabilize, you're not losing this game. I don't like that play, but maybe you know what? I haven't played Quest Druid nearly as much as he has prepping for tonight.
He does end up picking up the Ferocious Howl, which is pretty fantastic in this matchup. Give him a little bit extra longevity. But yeah, I think knowing that you're still a turn away from using Nourish, and the fact that he's got 2 Nourishes in hand, the Crystal Merchant is going to get you a card to draw, or draw you a card, I should say. But you've already got plenty of card draw in hand as soon as the quest ends anyway.
To be fair, regardless of what our Warlock plays this turn, Swipe is incredible next turn.
And that's actually not a bad play, considering he knows that there's the possibility that Swipe just comes out this turn and ruins his board. Does put the shield down, which at least gives him something that will survive through a swipe.
Starfall's probably the play now. At least that's what I would think, but you know what? This guy's been full of surprises today.
Yeah, Starfall is the option here. I guess you could have still swiped and just said, I don't care about the 4 damage I'm taking next turn, especially with Hidden Oasis in hand, but hey, that's the safer route, especially when you would probably prefer to Nourish next turn if you have the option. And,
That Galakron, though, that's nice to see.
Great to see for Ron. He's going to need it. He can... Now he has the choice here between Veiled Worshipper and draw a bunch of cards, or he can go ahead and Dragonblight Cultist and have the Galakron online next turn. I think that's the right move, knowing that next turn you can, turn 7, have a fully upgraded Galakron going. I think that's the right move every single time.
If he high rolls here, he's going to be pretty favored, I think. Like, he doesn't... outside of Swipe, there's not any massive board removal. So if he gets some big demons, he's going to be feeling pretty good.
And Icicles will Nourish here to go ahead and fill up the hand and see what he draws. Picked up a Wrath. Could use that here on the 3-1. But he's going to need to clear some hand space.
Not the best Nourish in the world, and the Plague of Flames is going to come in handy later in this game. I hope that he's very conservative with the Plague of Flames.
Let's go, Galakron.
Definitely set up for lethal here, man. Like, he's got 2 Nether Breaths. He's got the 2 5/5s. He has a ton of damage in hand. And now it's a great Galakron. My goodness.
Bonus damage out of the existing minions thanks to the taunt. And 3 strong demons. Then a Flame Imp, which, you know, I've seen worse than that. That's really, really
GG.
bad for Icicles.
Oasis doesn't even do it here.
No.
It's game over, my friends.
It dies
Wow.
to Satharvar, and that's still 14, 18, 22, 25 damage. Yeah. That's still lethal. That's incredible. Well, I guess you... Nope, because you can use Wrath on the 3-1 and no, you can use Wrath on the 4-2. He can survive lethal this turn. He can
Not with
not
the Nether
die.
Breaths in hand.
Oh, not with another breath in hand. So as far as Icicle knows, he can survive. He does have the Ferocious Howl. Again, is going to make him feel a little bit more comfortable, but we know the bad news.
Ron Mexico could not have asked for a better Galakron, a better hand. This was not even close, even though it felt close the whole way.
I guess he could have brought Doomguards out of retirement and somehow pulled 4 of those.
Adding insult to injury, you get a Zephyrus in hand.
It's not active though.
It's true.
And just swing
Not gonna
it
matter
all.
here, folks.
Oh no, not at all. It's plus the weapon. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. I dream of those Galakrons. Those are the Galakrons that I want but never get.
They're never the ones we get, though, are they?
No, not at all. I get the 0-1s with stealth.
The 1, the 2-2. The 1-1. Well, that was an exciting game. That's probably game of the night where you didn't see that coming. At least I didn't.
No, I mean, there's always the possibility. that Galakrond can just win you the game, and right there, like that's like it's a dream scenario, and that's really what he needed to win that matchup, was to just absolutely get Galakrond as fast as possible, hit it as hard as possible, and he did. So, you know, Ron couldn't have asked for a better hand.
This is not looking good for Icicles. Face Hunter does not have a good matchup, unless this could be Highlander Hunter, but it looks like a Face Hunter, and Sacrificial Pack is just so good at denying that damage.
Sack Pack, Nether Breath, there are plenty of ways to stay alive here if you're Ron Mexico.
If it's Highlander Hunter, the chances go up, but this is Face Hunter, and I don't think that I think this might be our last game of the evening. Wait, am I wrong there?
I think it's backwards. I think Face Hunter actually does pretty well against this deck, but there are ways to win. It's not a dead deck, but looking at it real quick, I mean, it's about a 60% to win. So Face Hunter can certainly get there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That surprises me.
It really depends on the tools that Ron draws, and obviously we see another Breath right out of the gate, a couple shields, and now a second Nether Breath, which is going to help him tremendously. But it does end up being a problem where he's going to want to continue to tap to get his resources in hand, but tapping is very, very bad against a deck that also wants you to tap.
I'd like to see how it goes. I'm surprised. For some reason, I thought that the Sacrificial Packs made this matchup in the Warlock's favor, but yeah, I guess I'm wrong.
I apologize to chat there. I was a little slow on the transition again, so missed a few turns, but hopefully our radio voices gave you a good idea of what was happening the first few turns there. Knife Juggler, good.
And we do have
pickup
very
for
nice
Face Hunter.
voices.
Oh yeah, oh no, we're very, very sultry.
Not to toot our own horns, but toot.
And here comes Toxic Reinforcements. Perfect timing with that Knife Juggler. Everything going face. Almost everything going face. I think you take out that 2-1 here if you're Icicles. Protect your Knife Juggler investment. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm reading that we only a 38% matchup for the Warlock here. Boy, do I look silly.
Incoming Mortal Coil on the Knife Juggler will at least take that off the board, but still a turn away from getting those shields down. I don't think you can afford a life tap here, and the Nether Breath still does not have it's a lifesteal activated, no dragons in hand, and he will tap.
And that's pretty crazy. You know that he's got to be frustrated right now about that.
Well, if you're Icicles and you see a tap, you know he's got a hand that just seems like it's pretty lame, because there's no reason you want to go ahead and accelerate your own death unless you absolutely have to draw something. And Plague of Flames is a good draw. Is it enough?
Is it though?
It's a good draw if it was a couple turns ago.
You know what? Here, he probably is going to have to Plague here.
I mean, he can clear the board, but he's going to take 6 damage guaranteed.
That sucks. This is he's making it look easy over there, Icicles. That explosive trap's not helping either. Life Drinker here is pretty good.
If that was Snake Trap,
wow,
though, the game was over, because there'd be 3 minions on board, plus a Timberwolf in hand, but or plus the Life Drinker in hand and a Hero Power. But either way, I think this is going to still be far, far too much of a hole for Ron to come back out of.
You can get him down to 2 damage to 2. Yeah, I think right here is you probably just Life Drinker into Hero Power here.
Yep, I see no problem with that at all.
And now the only thing that's going to save him is a Sack Pack or a Dragon.
Draws
There's
the
a
dragon
at least.
He has to use them both.
He had no choice, and then probably just Fiendish Rites and hope for the best. Zephyrus.
It's just a 3-2 though, not active yet.
I don't like that at all. I get it, but I don't like it.
It never feels good, but I think I understand. You know, he felt like he needs to have something on board, anything on board, and not Huffer. It's Amisha for the animal companion, so it's not immediate damage for Icicles, but it's gonna still be there and need to be taken care of here next turn. And that would be why you play that Zephyrus, because now he can actually handle that with the Fiendish Rites.
Yeah, you're right. You got a good point there. This is interesting.
Gonna opt to Dark Skies instead and use the Fiendish Rites and leave a few things on board.
He could come back here depending on what he draws. You got to be careful though.
He needs
You don't even
Galakrond.
want to attack right now.
He really just wants Galakrond next turn. If Ron doesn't draw Galakrond, I think that it's over.
GG.
Snake Trap comes down, so now he
Yeah,
has
you
both,
can't
both
attack
big traps
next
in play. Yeah, no tapping allowed here.
No tapping, no attacking. Good old fashioned Hearthstone.
Mortal Coil. I can see Mortal Coiling your own thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't blame him here.
Not
Can't
a card.
play that.
Not a card you can play.
Oh my goodness, he's holding on for dear life. Don't attack. Good call, my friend.
Yeah, usually the main two secrets that run in this deck are Snake Trap and Explosive, so he knows that both are in play. And Unleash the Hounds plus Timberwolf is lethal. That is it.
Yeah, that's GG.
Or hey, he's got
My
Owl
goodness.
too. I forgot about Owl. I was so
Got so
enamored
many
with the
ways to
Timberwolf. Yeah,
tell.
he had the pick that whatever he wanted to do there. And you didn't think we'd get to Game 5, but guess what? It's gonna go Game 5 for the second time tonight.
Oh, this is crazy. So it's Warlock versus Mage? Is that right? No.
It'll be Ron's Rogue versus the Hunter we just saw.
Oh. And Warlock is favored, right? I've been wrong every fucking matchup, or language, sorry about that. But I've been wrong every matchup, so we'll find out. It looks like Warlock is favored against Rogue. Regardless of the Rogue.
Victory for the Forsaken.
Watch your back.
Oh, I'm thinking of Warlock.
Let's see here. What type? I missed the mulligan. What type of Warlock or Rogue are we looking at here?
We saw a Sealed Fate. It looks like we're looking at a
Standard Galakrond.
at a Galakrond Rogue.
I mean, it's favored either way for Face Hunter. It's definitely fast enough to beat it. So Face Hunter is going to be, I think, at least a 55% favorite here.
Wondered if you coin out your 2/3 here. I think you do.
Let none survive.
Definitely worried about backstab if you do that, but
Time for games.
I feel like you need to pressure. Opts not to.
Yeah, bit of a heavy hand for Ron early on. Definitely wants to be proactive and get some stuff on board, but Icicles gets that Face Stalker down. Very, very important card in this deck, and the Evil Miscreant it's just a 1/4. He doesn't even have time to play the lackeys. Doesn't matter. Just got to get something down on board any way you can.
You got to respect that play. It takes a disciplined player to drop a 1/4 like that.
And at least at this point, he's got Ancestral Guardian, he's got shields, so he can go ahead and get a few things down the next few turns. But is it already too late? Because the Face Hunter is starting to make headway. He's getting a secret on board thanks to the Face Stalker. And let's see what he gets out of tracking. Animal Companion looks pretty juicy.
Knew he was getting Snake Trap off of that, and Snake Trap is a great secret in this situation.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was getting because both of those explosive traps are in hand, which is kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, you can play him for 2 damage, or at least the threat of damage now, can stop Ron from attacking.
That's a great Reborn minion to get off of your Pharaoh Cat in this matchup. It's the only one you'd want more than that is the 6/8 from Druid. Or Cartoon Defender.
Icicles, so many choices here. Probably wondering if he can get the Knife Juggler down and also Hero Power, if he'd rather just Animal Companion. I think Animal Companion is better. It's Misha.
Misha.
Do you
Misha's not the
coin
best.
here?
Not what he was hoping for. What's that?
So do you coin here and go ahead and get a secret out?
I don't think I do. That faceless corruptor's looking really good here, though.
Now, we talked about this in the previous series. Rogue, not a class that typically has a lot of healing. This might be enough to actually get Ron into that late stages with the Galakrond, if it can get enough healing to get him beyond the initial onslaught of the Face Hunter here.
Yeah, he could feasibly heal up to 12 with this 4-2, which is pretty crazy.
I will act as your scapegoat.
And the good pickup of the Lackey knows that it's likely Explosive Trap, but that's going to keep the healing alive and allow Ron to at least continue to push some damage in the process. So this is a good spot, actually, I think, right now for Ron. We've got Icicle's got a couple options in hand. He picked up Dragon Bane this turn. He's got Life Drinker from last turn, but right now Ron is in control.
And suddenly the Hunter has to deal 40-ish damage to win this game as opposed to 30. I think this is probably going to be the Rogue's matchup here. It seems like it's going to be tough to come back.
And as we talked about, it is not a favored matchup for the Rogue, but there is, there are ways to get in there and be able to defend yourself against the early rush. But even with Ron's kind of clunky hand, he's done a pretty good job being able to get there.
He's already healed 8 off of the random Reborn card.
And it's still there.
Still has Reborn, so it's just going to keep helping him out in this matchup.
And I mean, the good news for Icicles, he does have that second Explosive Trap, so if there is an attack here, it won't heal this turn. But it still needs to be dealt with the following turn via a minion of some kind, which means it'll still get another heal off. He's going to go ahead and praise Galakrond. That's a risky play without knowing what's on the secret there. Oh, never mind!
Off.
Oh, if you get the Lackey, if you get the Titanic Lackey, it doesn't matter.
Oh, might as well concede now. If you're the Hunter, you have to be PO'd right now.
I mean, that was really the highest of rolls for it, right? There was really no better hit. And
can we
Dagger.
just put into perspective that he had to get the lifelink guy off of Pharaoh Cat and then discover 2 Titanic Lackeys this game in order to keep this healing train alive? That's incredible.
Unleash is going to come down. Actually, double Unleash can come down here, so it might not be fully over yet. Good first hit. Takes out a minion. Great second hit. Wow!
It's not gonna matter. It could matter.
This is a heavyweight fight right here. These are big haymakers going back and forth. I think you go ahead and drop the second Unleash.
Hey, I think you play the other Unleash the Hounds here.
The problem is Flick in hand for Ron Mexico takes out the entire board.
But I'm guessing you're trading most of those Unleash the Hounds, if not all of them.
Depends where the juggles go, of course.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
You want the juggle to show up on this 4, and at least one of these juggles on the 4-1. Sure does. I mean, if you could have chosen your juggles, Icicle would have chosen all of those right there.
It's not gonna really. It could matter, but I don't think so. I think that this game is just too far gone for the hunter.
I mean, the flick is the perfect answer. I was sitting here thinking to myself at the top, what do you want to flick in this deck? And I guess the answer is, well, every single 1/1 that's on board, thanks to Unleash the Hounds. And as crazy as a turn that was for Icicles, Ron is still in control here. And, where do we go from here? It's going to have to be tracking, but I don't see what's going to be in this deck that's going to end Ron Mexico's charge here, and he's going to go ahead and I think take this series in 5.
An excellent night. What an excellent night of Hearthstone here. Don, I couldn't have asked for a better matchups.
No, great games back and forth all night long. None of those
Everyone was
cards
talking
do
about
it.
Everyone's been talking about the big game, and this is the big game.
We're just giving everybody a taste.
That's right.
He's gonna Galakron, I would imagine.
Galakron, watch with his luck, Eviscerate's coming off the top.
Or Leroy. Ooh, we'll take
Or
that
a
too,
Locky.
though.
Oh my goodness.
You might as well Togwaggle,
play it.
right? Because you Togwaggle, because then
Yeah,
you got
every
Kronk's
time.
next turn anyway.
Every time you Togwaggle here.
What's he hoping for? 2 damage, Lackey? No, you can't. No, you can't do that. You can't play them all.
If he got two damage Lackeys.
Well, he
then he
couldn't
wins
play
the
them
game.
both anyway, so.
Oh yeah, I was just joking. No, here's the play. You evolve the 1/4 into Korkron Elite.
I was really hoping you would called it right there, but
Oh
unfortunately,
yeah,
no.
because we'd be on Trollden. GG though, like what's he got here? Is there any chance?
I mean, Kill Command has to come down. I would Kill Command Dragon's Bane and then hope you're hitting the right stuff, but
Still not enough.
likely
10
not
plus
enough.
3 plus 2 is 15. It still wouldn't do it.
Well, you Kill Command the 5/5, drop Dragon's Bane, Hero Power Hope hits the 3/3, trade your 3/3 into one of the 1/1s.
I guess he could technically stay alive, but there's no way. There's no way. This is over. Where were you the night that Galakron Rogue defeated Face Hunter?
Got the right hit.
It's gonna take some bad luck not to win the game here.
Yeah, we're gonna see what gets taken off the wand. Or no, we're not.
Oh,
It's
that's
Kronks.
GG.
Forgot about Kronks.
GG.
Forgot
By
about Kronks.
bad luck, I meant he's gonna have to play the wrong card.
Yeah, bad luck would be him literally disconnecting right now.
Exactly. What a great series tonight. Both series lived up to the hype, and I'm happy as a pig in mud to be here tonight.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. As you mentioned, great series, back and forth. Big shout out to all of our players tonight for a fantastic show. We can get Ron in here for a quick interview if he's up for it.
Absolutely. I got to hear how he's feeling right now, because those games were high intensity. They were all over the place, and I can't wait to hear where his head was at. That Galakron Warlock game, because there's no way he expected to get that kind of board.
Hey Ron, can you hear us?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Wow, that
we're
was
good.
incredible, Ron.
I don't know how fast your heart's beating right now, but geez, man, that was. First of all, welcome back again. We talked to you last week, and we get to talk to you again this week.
This was my first THL win of the week. I lost 2-3, 2-3, and I was real nervous that I was going to have another 2-3. So I'm just relieved that I got a win.
Definitely a nail biter. Great series, back and forth the whole way. So, I'm interested in your decision in Game 4 there to play into the Face Hunter. It was a little bit unfavored for you, but you pulled. Or I'm sorry, no, it was. You picked a deck that was slightly more unfavored rather than picking the deck in Game 5 that you chose. What was the decision to bring it there?
What do you mean?
I think I have this backwards. My words are not coming out because I'm just so overwhelmed by the amazing Hearthstone we just witnessed. When I guess more of a lineup decision rather than a queue order decision. Did you expect it to be Face Hunter when you were crafting your lineup?
Oh no, I didn't. I was very surprised that it was Face Hunter. I felt like Face Hunter had kind of fallen out of fashion, so I was totally not expecting that. And then I was pretty worried.
It was incredible to see your Warlock. That Galakron board was just nuts. Like, you must have been just jumping out of your seat when you saw.
Oh
come
man,
up.
those are some good demons. I was like, I have all of the burst. Like, I actually was planning on just playing the 5/4 draw 3. But then, I hit the Galakron and I'm like, okay, one more invoke gets it. So fully invoked Warlock Galakron on 7, literally exactly what I did last Saturday on stream. So I'm like, oh, this seems like a good line. I think I'm going to do this. And then those demons were just insane. I was like, okay, that's probably just a win.
Yeah, you love to
you
see a
played
fully invoked
great.
Galakron on 7. Yeah, you definitely played great. You played the right, you played to the outs and everything, and sometimes that's all you can do, and just hope that Hearthstone's on your side.
With that said, though, your RNG was through the roof tonight. Like that Feral Cat into the 4/2 lifelink into.
Oh my goodness! And
time.
then taunts every time. Like, I was gonna play around Explosive Trap, and then I was like, well, I mean, if I get a taunt lackey, I don't have to. And then I just kept getting taunt lackeys, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep buffing this lifesteal guy, and that's gonna be kind of an easy win here.
So the second time you got the taunt lackey, I was kind of wondering, we knew that the high roll would be that you get the taunt lackey again. But was there ever consideration, you're sitting there saying, okay, do I not buff him first because, there's just a chance that then everything dies on board, or were you committed to that route the whole time to try and get the 1 in 6 for the taunt lackey?
I mean, you just go for the lackey regardless, because the lackey informs what your next play is going to be. I wasn't going to attack because of the Explosive Trap, and I was going to look for kind of a stall game. Like, he can't just hero power me down. I'm going to full invoke Galakron too, or at least gain the 5 armor and start getting infinite lackeys here. And eventually one of them is going to be a taunt. And also eventually he's going to have to put some minions on board, and then I'm just going to trade my lifesteal guy into his board. Or he's going to have to target it with, the 1-drop that makes your hero power a targeted hero power. But like, I was pretty much thinking this lifesteal never hits face unless I can guarantee that I get more lifesteal from it, because that is literally the only important thing in this matchup.
Very much so. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of healing opportunity as Rogue, and you did. You got repeated.
Yeah, no, that was insane. That was a super lucky Rogue game for me. Like, just taunt lackey after taunt lackey. I mean, you just make a play to set up what your future plays might be. You're like, okay, this is random. I can't control it. So let me start with this, see what it is. Then I'll figure out a gameplay from there. And then I was like, oh, I got lucky. Oh, I got lucky again. Oh, this is great.
Were you sweating those knife juggles at all?
I mean, I just kind of felt like it was fair that the knife juggler turned full sniper and took out my lifesteal guy, considering how lucky I had gotten. I was like, okay, Hearthstone wants to kind of bring this back around. It's like, that was insane for me to keep getting taunt lackeys and buff his health. So sure, yeah, knife juggler just full snipes the lifesteal. Whatever, that's fine.
I really loved your choice of bringing Quest Hunter tonight. I think that deck is severely underrated, and you piloted it like a pro. I played a ton of it this last month, and you really showed. You put on a clinic with that deck tonight. I'm assuming you play it quite often because you looked very comfortable with it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really like Quest Hunter. I've been playing it a lot, and that first game, I felt in control the entire game until he dropped a 14-14 Edwin, and I was like, wait, am I just dead? Am I dead now?
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Yeah, so, and because my board was so full and I couldn't actually buff the guys, I almost, like, ran out of time on that turn. I didn't even know what to do, but I was like, okay, I got to look for Varanus. Didn't find it, but found Leroy. And I'm like, okay, well, I can Leroy lethal him. I just have to pray that he doesn't have like an extra, like 7 or 8 burst, which he easily could have had. But I was just like, at some point, you got to gamble.
Yeah, sometimes you play to win, not play to not lose, which is what you did there. As far as deck construction is concerned, Boommaster and Shuma?
Say that again. Sorry, you cut out for me.
Sorry, Boommaster and Shuma, both in that deck?
Yeah, I know it's a little dicey. I really like having both of those cards. One is complete the quest fast and put on a lot of pressure. The other one is the burst damage that you need to get over the top for some of the more difficult matchups. It even doesn't do horrible into Res Priest because of those bombs just giving you...
I really liked that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think playing the trackings helps there too, because you are likely to lose one of them along the way, and that way you do have that other top end guy in case you do mill one of the other ones away. So you really played that really well. Like, I was sitting here very impressed with your play.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, the tracking, 2 trackings, I feel like is absolutely core to that deck, because it informs the decision to have the 2/7 costs even more, because as you said, you might wind up having to make a difficult decision and lose one of them. So, hey, at least I've got another one. That's another power burst.
I'm curious, do you know what it is that you cut to fit the 2/7s in there?
There's actually quite a few different Quest Hunter lists going around, so I wouldn't be 100% sure on what exactly the cut was.
You were playing Questing Adventurer though, right?
Yeah, I have 2 Questing Adventurers. I never seem to find them when I play this deck.
We didn't see them. We didn't see them tonight, I don't think.
I don't run the licensed one, the guy that generates a coin, and that's kind of a popular inclusion, but I haven't seen... Well, I don't use that in my list, but I've seen it a lot lately.
Okay, so I was happy to see it, because I haven't seen some good Quest Hunter play, besides my own, in a long time, so it was fun to see.
Nice. I was kind of sad that I got... I was hoping I could sweep with Quest Hunter, and then I ran into Smork Quest Druid. I didn't know that was a thing, but he just beat the crap out of me.
If you watch the replay, you'll see me predicting that you were going to sweep with Quest Hunter after that first matchup. But
Nice.
Unfortunately, his Quest Druid was just off the charts. That was incredible, guys. That was a great game on both of your parts.
He kind of had a god draw in the Quest Druid game. Like, I was like, okay, I can pressure him with these 4 attack minions. As long as he doesn't have Wrath, he's going to have to like tank it with his face. Oh, he has Wrath. Oh, he has Wrath again. Oh, here's a Nourish into double 0 mana 3/5 taunts. Oh, he's going to buff them and put out a 4/3. Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, that was definitely, as far as the matchup is concerned, that was probably my favorite matchup of the night, just the way those 2 decks played against each other. But man, he really made short work of it with his draws. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, I got the revenge with the Warlock on the very next game. Just, I mean, the Galakron Warlock deck is much more control focused than aggro, but I felt like I was just full on like aggro Galakron Warlock in the Quest Druid matchup.
You played really well. Like, I'll be cheering for you throughout the rest of this this series after watching tonight's game. So I'm hoping you get on stream more often, or continue to be on stream often. And I'm excited to follow your journey this time around.
Awesome. Hey, I love being on stream. Anytime you guys want to have me, as long as I'm not taking up too much of your space for other players that might have more entertaining matches, I'm more than happy to be on stream.
Always appreciate the offer, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you and to watch you play. Congratulations on the win again, and I believe that was the first game of the week in the Burn Naders versus Dad Legends, so a 4-2 lead for you guys, at least out of the gate here.
Yeah, I got to start it off strong. I mean, like I said earlier, I was just desperate to get one THL win this week. I had a 2-3 slip away early. I had a 2-0 lead on stream last night, and I was like 1 damage off lethal for a sweep and wound up getting reverse swept. So I was kind of sweating. I was like, okay, can I win anything here? Here we go.
We all have those weeks, so I completely understand. But that'll do it for us tonight. Thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it. Craig, thank you for co-casting as well. And we will be back, of course, next week with a few more games. We have at least one match for you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Skittles versus Nine Eyebrows. So if you prefer Hearthstone to the Super Bowl, you're in luck because we got you covered. So feel free to come back and join us for that. Until next week, thank you again. Good luck with the rest of your matches, and we will see you next Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.